about the Trump slush fund that's being created?
What's a
Did
slush
y'all
fund?
just?
When I hear slushies, I think of ices.
This says ABC News reported. Me too, a slushie. Now I want one, First Lady.
Right.
ABC News reported Thursday that Trump is expected to drop his $10 billion lawsuit against the Internal Revenue Service in exchange for the creation of the $1.776 billion fund to be used to give settlements to individuals who claim they were wrongly targeted by the Biden administration. What the hell?
Wow.
The fuck?
Wow.
Damn, man. Just Jesus Christ. So this article.
I mean, well, let's dig in. Let's see what's problematic. I know what it sounds like on the surface, but let's look at it closely. Go ahead. What did it say?
Yeah, it says top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee on Sunday blasted the potential fund to compensate allies of President Donald Trump, calling it a political slush fund that he said is illegal and unconstitutional. Only Congress has the power to appropriate money. Congress never voted on creating this $1.7 billion political slush fund at the Department of Justice, and Congress would never pass that, Rep. Jamie Raskin said. Oh my God. Can this actually be done, y'all?
I don't know, but I'm glad you read that. Because what Congress saying about the money. Like, where is he? So, but wait a minute. He's saying that he's going to drop the lawsuit. So he's saying pay me separately, and then I'll take that money and then give it to the IRS.
Yeah.
The IRS can pay the people out.
Yeah. Isn't it? Oh my God. What?
He trying to bring his own money to pay stuff off.
Oh my God. How is MAGA going to defend this?
I just told you because he's suing them. He's saying, I'm willing to drop it. But take that money and pay back the people who were impacted by Biden. What's the thing with Biden?
Yeah, it says that your mama says that's not what it is. This explains more in detail. Wait, I haven't even read this. What he's planning to do. But yeah, first, isn't that crazy? Did y'all hear about? Did we hear about this?
Well, man, she said that's not what it is. So what part is
Let me read the actual creation. But he wants them to apologize. I'd almost forgotten why he was suing the IRS First Lady. That guy.
So he's not going to use the money. He's asking them to set up the fund. That's why Jamie Raskin says only Congress can appropriate money, because that would be the IRS appropriating money to use for settlements or like a settlement fund for people who were quote unquote targeted by the Biden administration that were his allies.
But has this been done before? And what does quote unquote targeted by the Biden administration even mean?
Correct. Because I was targeted.
Me too. Class action lawsuit. We about to get a little bit of change up in here.
Wait a minute.
Trump reparations is funny.
What is that?
Oh, that says J6ers. If those motherfuckers get $1 million payouts, I am marching on Washington my goddamn self. Wow. You gotta be freaking kidding me.
No way.
Oh, he trying to buy votes. Oh my God. This mother sucker. Oh man.
Look at Keisha, me too. No, get out the way. Me first.
The implications of this would just be insane. I can't imagine that they are going to allow this to happen. Can he demand that?
we gotta see how they're gonna go about doing it. I mean, clearly the way things have been, everybody would say no, but who knows what they've got in the background. So I don't know.
That's what the article says.
What?
They would have the authority to settle claims which could be brought by the nearly 1,600 individuals charged in connection to the J6 attack. So Ban is correct.
Oh, Lord.
Raskin said compensating the now pardoned J6 rioters would be a violation. If he gave those motherfuckers $1 million each, that's the amount. Oh my God. What? Just when you think that this man can't do anything else. And word out my mouth as well. That's because I was just being quiet earlier. This just really, I'm sorry. I need to touch grass. This has pissed me so much off. Jesus Christ. Just the fact that it's being discussed, though. Just the fact that he's suing the IRS. I haven't really gotten incensed by anything Trump has done in a while, because I said that I was just going to, chill on that, because you'll just, run up your blood pressure. As Amari pointed out, I'm a big girl. I got to monitor my blood pressure. I'm a black woman in America. I just cannot believe this. I mean, he was suing them for $10 billion, P. Can he actually get away with this? Where's the legal, or your mama, if you knew about it, I'm so sick of this man, y'all.
All right, so when was this announced?
This was announced the 15th. So this interview with Raskin was Friday.
Okay. So on Friday, this came out. But because, everybody's paying attention to China. Just distracted.
It hasn't been done. It's not finalized.
Right. It's just he requested that this be done.
It's a settlement.
So
I'm calling it a settlement.
Yeah. Okay. Requested a settlement. But
yeah.
So
what impact
so
do you
has
guys think that has on the everyday American? Like I understand we're upset about it. What real impact does something like that have?
Well, one real world impact is that it corrupts our institutions. So the IRS is paying presidents, political allies, and supporters. Where do you think the $1.7 billion is going to come from? The couch?
I mean, also, this sets a crazy precedent. So if he wants violence come election time, he can, he can say, yeah, I compensated my people the last time they were violent, disrupted government institutions, etc. So go ahead and do your dirt so we can get you paid this time around. Crazy.
And look at this, y'all. The settlement terms are expected to prohibit Trump from directly receiving payments related to those 3 legal claims. However, entities associated with Trump are not explicitly barred from filing additional claims. This. He got $50 million in 11 goddamn entities.
People don't have to feel the effects of things for it to be bad for the country, for democracy, for the constitutional order, etc. I probably wouldn't feel the effects of a president being bribed, lots of other things, but doesn't mean president should be bribed. I don't understand the question.
Well, I guess where I was getting at is if this is something that I think you guys' answers are fine, but I think that there's more things that's happening that has actual effect on pretty much the entire country that Trump is doing.
And you will become a being capable of existing in non-solidity.
Thing right here, and I don't think that it I think IRS is corrupt. I don't think he needs to corrupt it.
Okay, so the one was quiet, and Reform just read a news item, sir. We talk about those things all the time. But again, people come in once a week, once 2 weeks. If you don't talk about the things that they want you to talk about the way they want them to talk about it, then the shit you talk about is not. I mean, come on, bro. This is insane. The lady it was quiet in here. She just read a news item. The other day they was talking about Jamal Bryant's wife's dress. You watch a movie. The Michael movie came out. They was talking about. We're not allowed to talk about that either because it doesn't affect everyday Americans. Like, what's going on? These kind of conversations are these kind of comments are so pseudo.
It definitely impacts. I mean, if this shit goes through, it definitely has an impact on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we could say that about practically anything. Somebody could say, well, does it impact me if Trump is going to China? I don't understand. And clearly, and Kenny, honestly, I'm surprised that you were a Trump supporter. I had no idea.
You should listen to these people speak. You can always tell. I mean, I don't care. If my neighbor's down the street getting an abortion, that doesn't affect me. So I guess I shouldn't care about abortion. We shouldn't discuss it.
Right. And the average American should be concerned about this. Like, how is this okay? It's not okay that the sitting president of the United States is suing the IRS for $10 billion. Did you know that he was suing the federal government in 3 lawsuits at least? Did you know that?
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem though.
You don't think it's a problem that a sitting U.S. president is literally suing his own administration? You don't think that's a problem?
What do you mean by suing his own administration?
It's okay. Okay. I'm done.
Well, no, the reason I say that is because I thought it was a fact that his tax documents were in fact leaked by an IRS contractor. So
they were.
that is okay. So again, whether or not I think it's okay, I mean, I'm just talking about. It is a fact that something wrong, illegal, was done to him. So he has to, because he's the president, just like bite the bullet. Is that the argument?
Well, you can wait. Well, one, you could have done it at the time before you were president, or you can wait. There's all kinds of things presidents can't do while president and after the presidency. Presidents can't drive. What is so? How can you be impartial and the chief executive of your own entity that you're trying to get $10 billion from? I'm actually kind of surprised by that question. He can sue when he's not the president. Why would the president sue an organization that he's the chief executive of? He does the hiring and firings of. He could have sued in 2022. 2022.
There's another hint and another clue.
I'm sorry, I was speaking. I couldn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean.
It's okay. Go ahead. It's fine.
Did you complete your thought?
Well, let me respond. Mara says, is it illegal? The legality of it suggests that it probably wouldn't go through, which is one reason why they're doing the settlement. If you actually read about it, parties can't sue themselves. Anyway, I don't know, man. Donald Trump can do all kinds of stuff, and people like Kenny, Omari, and others who voted for him. Hunter Biden sells a painting and is corrupt because he's the president's son. He's suing an entity where he hires and fires the people. He can wait to sue. Why? How can you have impartiality if you're the boss? So the people are going to go to the IRS. Who are going to be the lawyers for the IRS? You don't care.
I think once you,
This is just
I was about to say something for sure.
Go ahead, Ambassador.
I'll get on mine. Once you a move like that, if you're in business,
the CEO of the business and you do something underhanded in the midst of pursuing some economic gain or some profit, then you're actually done. That corporation is burnt completely out. Any insurance adjuster will tell you, you sue DC, you're not suing DC. Actually, you're suing the insurance company. And I'm very, very familiar with that procedure from my attorney, Dr. and Attorney Malik Sulu Shabazz, who schooled me on enough to say something about some of this. Once Donald Trump has been discovered of impropriety or some inappropriate function, including potential derelict of duty or some form of public deception again, you know the drill, you either be removed. He knows that he's got all that things several times at the mic. We here in Washington really appreciate the eulogy for him. He's at the casket, but we need the support of the people to put the remainder of the day. In Islam, you have to put the dirt or to declare them dead, and a funeral service done called janazah. You have to place the dirt on it. So I'm awaiting the rest of America to place the dirt on. I think I've said enough at the mic. My associates, including Judge Al Green and John Lewis, who has passed, may God please bless him. He impeached Trump on the first day in office. A lot of people quick to forget that. He bought nearly it was more than that. Matter of fact, he had more than 1 million women, predominantly black women, on Capitol Hill today during the eulogy of Donald Trump in the first election that people remember correctly. It's just people that follow up with their congressperson. They don't fall in with John Lewis. They don't come in with Judge Al Green, Congressman, Congressional Representative Al Green of Texas, or Harris County, Texas, down a little slightly below Houston. Sheila Jackson Lee attempted the same thing to tell you those messages. The public didn't chime in behind John Lewis and Sheila Jackson Lee and John Conyers and others. They tried to follow. And then you let them die without getting the political substance. The their journey, you don't use that juice skillfully and effectively against their point. If you saw them doing it, then naturally, if you were with them, then certainly you should be doing at least something that they were doing to indicate that the good holy book Quran says that they don't die. Don't speak of good service as dead. Nay, no, they living. But yet you perceive not. You don't treat them as a living document for reparation. Don't treat them as a man. Yes, I'm trying to impeach you, sir. Even Benny Thompson preached the funeral and the goddamn impeachment himself. We didn't get behind. So we're not.
All right, Uncle, you say you're going to release the mic.
Ma'am, yeah, I'll release the mic, but we're just not following with our own congressional representative. And we don't demand that the GOP also have a form of congressional black caucus in order to balance the scales for we the people land our planes just by saying my, as we always do. My.
Well, I wanted to respond with in any way, shape, or form. And I don't think I was arguing, that either. I do think that if there's a legitimate grievance and we're going to have a principle like, hey, presidents should not, there's a conflict of interest, and presidents shouldn't be able to enter into settlements with agencies that they have control over. I think that is reasonable, and I actually agree with that. The problem is I try to look at things from like a realist, pragmatic standpoint. So I think that ultimately I can have my opinions about this, but is there a way to actually make this preventable, meaning that no other president not able to do it? Because technically it's not breaking the law for what he's doing. I do think that there's a problem. So I think that the only solution is that, well, we just want our president accountable because we pray that they don't do these things that we don't like, or we can actually put things in place. Like, one, we can have like some sort of independent special counsel, which I know a lot of conservatives disagree with because they argue that it's basically going to be like a fourth branch.
They're saying in the chat box that they don't think that you're genuine, forthcoming. They don't believe that you're honest and truthful on your statements. Not from me, sir. I'm just saying what they are. Sometimes, very rarely, quote what they say, but that's what they are saying about you, sir.
Oh, I'm happy to say it. Sir, do you know that even Donald Trump himself said, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And you know that decision would have to go across my desk. It's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. Trump even acknowledged that he's literally paying himself. And did you also realize, sir, under the terms of the potential settlement agreement, Trump would actually have the authority to remove members of the commission running the fund without cause, and the commission would be under no obligation to disclose its procedures or decision-making process for awarding more than $1 billion. Are you?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No. So what?
Are you kidding me? No. I'm not done. Just because, is there a law that says the president shall not consume a child in the middle of the freeway at 4:00 p.m. on Houston on Christmas? Does that mean that it's legal for him to do it? Y'all kill me with this shit. Y'all literally kill me. You are the reason that there are so many damn laws in the first place. Because you and your substantiation of the foolishness of this man. Did you have a father in the home when you grew up, or what? Did a white person take you in as an orphan or something? I'm sorry, First Lady. I'm sorry. I retract that last statement. The point is that this, is it legal? Is it legal? Y'all would have been the people sitting around saying slavery was right because it was legal at the time. Like, where do y'all get this from? Where do y'all get this from? It is highly unethical. It is unprecedented. It should piss everybody off, because I just don't understand how you're trying to substantiate what is going on. First, you tried to say it wasn't a big deal because it shouldn't impact the average American. Then you tried to say that as average Americans, we should be worried about other things that should be more prominent or concerning that Trump is doing. Then you tried to say, well, is it illegal? Now you're trying to say, oh, we should prevent it from happening, but it's okay that it's happening now? Brother, you all over the goddamn place. And my joke is not going to come out right. Anyway, whatever.
So I'll answer your question. Yes, I did have a father in the home. My late father actually just passed away in February. He was a great man. To the second part, I do think that what I'm saying ultimately is that you have two competing issues. You have, let's prevent presidential corruption, right? Right. Now you're saying, well, we should just hope that our presidents don't do things. Well, obviously that's not working. So if the grievance is, well, we need to, presidents shouldn't do it. Well, I'm saying, well, we need to create laws, or Congress can create guardrails to prevent it. The problem with those guardrails is that by preventing, presidential corruption, especially when we're talking about, the agencies that they're in control. My argument is that I think that potentially is going to open up the door for unelected bureaucracies enter into a space where they're unaccountable themselves. So I think ultimately, I actually don't really know how to feel about this issue. I mean, I don't like that he's suing the IRS, obviously, but I don't really care about that. I'm more practically, okay, am I serious enough about it to where I think something should be done? And it can't just be, well, he should stop. Should we appeal to Congress and say, like, there should be laws preventing this from happening?
Are you saying, sir, that mom and them is not allowed you to play with the big boy Until after you were 21? Until after you were 21, sir?
Was that
being dead?
Come on. So, Kenny, when did you learn about this?
When I learned about what? What are you talking about? You're breaking up. I don't know if it's near you, but say it again.
Bit of a matrix.
Yeah, I don't know. You're breaking up. I don't know if what you're saying.
When did you learn about the topic?
When did I learn about the fact that IRS?
Yeah, no, the settlement.
Oh, the settlement thing. Oh, I just heard that today.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Who are the parties in the suit?
Well, I would assume the IRS is one of the parties.
Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this like this. So there's a concept when people sue each other, they have to be in what's called adverse relationship. So if you go on Judge Joe Mathis, although that's not really court, you're in an adverse relationship with somebody. Donald Trump is not in an adverse relationship with himself because he'd be suing himself and defending against himself. Do people understand that?
Did you get that point, young man?
Do you understand? Like being in an adverse relationship. So you can talk about whether or not Congress passes a law, because you were saying, "Oh, we don't know if it's legal," but it's not. It's legal, I guess you were saying. Well, I don't want to say what you were saying. I don't say exactly what you say, word for word. You say that I'm being bad faith. But in fact, let me not even speak to Kenny. Let me just make a general point. I've got to stop speaking to people because people get annoyed at me when I speak to them. The point is that no one knows what this would have been because he would be suing himself and defending against himself. That's the problem. Otherwise, if you allow this, what would stop presidents from doing this all the time? Or other people. That's why you can't sue yourself. But hey, if it doesn't affect the everyday person, then it doesn't matter. Murder up the street. There was a murder in Chicago last night. Didn't affect me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There are children hungry all over. My children are well fed. Doesn't affect the everyday person. Doesn't matter. There are 700 some homeless people in California people want to talk about. Doesn't affect that regular person outside of California. Doesn't matter. So we can only have conversations based on things. So that basically, I guess that would be gas. We can only talk about gas, I guess. And maybe food prices. Maybe. Doesn't matter.
In the short and long of it, you certainly can't quadruplize or quadruply jeopardize yourself by suing yourself 3 or 4 ways. He's moved to stop a major payment that was authorized by a judge, a few million in there that was going to he had been an obstruction to justice in several of these cases very recently, and the people are again doing a drive-by. I don't know why, with all of the bureaucrat lawyers hanging around, stuffing themselves full of hors d'oeuvres and filet mignon at this hour. Just very inquisitive to me why those judicial processes have not stopped being. We have such a genuine Supreme Court, 3 or 4 major players selected by Donald John Trump himself, and don't forget the depository of left by Bruce Warren, in the person of Clarence Thomas and others, who sit and listen, and they don't talk, they don't speak, they don't act, and we wonder why are they Supreme Court justices at all. Nevertheless, he's made the point very clear. You cannot sue yourself in any taxes or paying your bills or paying, as being caught liable of a lawsuit, paying your bills, to do your own personal housekeeping is not the purpose of the Supreme Court, the local courts, your Solicitor General, or any other valuable person around this judicial system. As I land my plane on the facts, as we all know them, just by saying my, it looks so terrible for a story to tell the captain today. My.
The United States blew up a school with 187 girls with a Tomahawk missile. Didn't affect the common person in America. Doesn't matter. Just give them the 1.7 billion. And the crazy thing about the settlement is that it wouldn't go to him. In a strange way, I would feel better if it did go to him as opposed to what they're trying to set up. I mean, I would feel best if it went to court and the courts solved this issue. Now, the court will probably have to sign off on a settlement, so they'll probably be involved. I don't think this is going to go through, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to go through. But, hey, if it does go through and it didn't affect the everyday person, it doesn't matter. You know, who cares? There was a recall on food. Most people don't eat that food. It doesn't matter. Let the people get salmonella and die. It doesn't affect the everyday person. So it doesn't matter. Let's talk about something, according to Kenny, that affects the everyday person. So we should change the subject. Kenny, would you like to offer the topic of the room a topic that affects the everyday person, since this one doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think we should definitely get off of this topic because
What you got?
I think that how do you guys feel about feminism?
That doesn't affect the everyday person. How I feel about feminism, it doesn't matter.
Really? How does it affect the everyday person?
How I feel. You asked me what I felt about it. How I feel about it doesn't affect the everyday person. So it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm actually like, can you prove that?
How so a country of 300 million people feels about that. How I feel about it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we're moving away from that though. I thought we were moving away from that.
You just asked me how I felt about feminism. I said it doesn't matter how I feel about it.
It doesn't matter how you feel about it?
Correct.
Who doesn't it matter to?
The everyday person.
Yeah, but I'm asking you about it.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if I'm asking you specifically?
Because it doesn't affect the everyday person. That's the standard you set up for the room. So we're letting you guide the room.
I didn't set up any standard for the room.
You did. You told us when it first brought up this thing.
Strike the mask.
Not only are you entitled to it, we're using it as a guiding principle for the conversation. Are you listening? Obviously, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm following your lead. You're a strong black man. You believe in the black family and the black woman should submit. So we're going to follow your lead. Some men need to submit to other black men. So we're following your lead. What topic you got?
I actually don't believe that. I don't know.
Okay.
I know you don't know me, and I know that's what you've been doing pretty much since I've been in there.
I got you.
Hold on. Follow my lead.
You just said you don't believe in that, so we're not going to follow you.
No, I said women. I do believe you should follow my lead, though. So follow my lead like you said you're going to do, or you don't contradict yourself. Okay, thank you. Go back on mute. Actually don't. Okay, yeah, I know you're not, because now. Okay, so like I said, I actually don't believe that. I don't teach that. I actually teach the complete opposite. Now, you probably believe that yourself, and that's why you're projecting that on me. But I don't teach that men should lead to home, and I don't even believe the Bible teaches that, by the way.
Okay.
You got something else you want to try to project on me?
No, I think you're an idiot, Kenny. I'm gonna be honest.
I know you do. Well, you should have said that from the beginning.
I didn't think you were an idiot.
You were pretending. No, you were pretending.
No.
You were pretending. Yes, you were.
I didn't think you were. May I respond, sir? May I respond?
No. I want you to go back on mute because you said you were going to follow my lead. So go back on mute. You, from the moment I came on this this stage, you pretended as if you wanted to have some sort of intellectual conversation, when really what you wanted to do was project something on me. And you just did that by alluding that I believe, or that I posit, that women should submit to men, when that's not even what I teach. And all of my opponents on this app know that, and I argue with them every single day. Now you can speak.
Thank you, Kenny, sir, leader, submission lord, smart man. So I did not bring you up to have an intellectual conversation. We don't really do intellectual conversations on Clubhouse. There are no intellectuals on here. Maybe there's a hidden one. Maybe Steve Crew. Jules. Not a lot of the room was dull. Reform was literally reading stuff that was popping up on her. If you don't want to have a conversation, you don't have to have a conversation. I don't know how we got fucking feminism, but if you want to talk about feminism, we'll follow your lead, sir. So go ahead and ask your questions about feminism. We actually gonna follow your lead, sir. What would you like to discuss on feminism? Is somebody speaking?
No.
Okay, here, Kenny. Excuse me, my leader Kenny wants to know what you all think about feminism, because there's a we can't talk that about possible presidential corruption, billions of dollars in tax dollars, how people that got pardoned from Trump, they're pardoning. We can't talk about that. Mike, who wants to say something about feminism? Kenny, would you like to define what feminism is, sir, since it's your topic? Why don't you define what feminism is so we have a shared language? If you don't,
I actually don't have a definition for it. I'm curious what your definition is for it.
well, I didn't bring up the topic, so I don't have a definition. I'm just going to follow your lead. So how do you understand? May I answer your question? May I answer the question? And may I answer the question? So since people have thank you, sir. Since people have the competing definitions, maybe we should use a master definition so we're all on the same page. That's one way to have a good conversation. And since you brought it up, I'll let you provide a conversation.
I guess you could define feminism as women being treated unfairly because they're women. And feminism responds to that and says that that's a wrong, that women should not be treated unfairly. They should be treated like a human being. That's how I define it.
Any response? He wants to know how we feel about that definition. This is a scintillating conversation. The conversation that Reform brought up doesn't affect the regular person. We should shut the fuck up. So this is a scintillating and tantalizing topic, and he gave a definition of feminism that even Wollstonecraft herself would be proud of. Thank you, Kenny. Would anybody like to discuss this wonderful and important topic that Kenny, the teacher, brought up? Because remember, he teaches.
You're doing a great job moderating. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Really, what Ben was talking about, very important thing affecting our daily life. I'm sorry, Kenny. No one cares about Kim Kardashian beating your ass every day. We need to hear something. That the fucking gas is $6 here. What the hell are we talking about? He was really talking about a very important thing, and your ass curious about feminism. I don't give a fuck. There's a ton of gay people. They are fucking each other in the ass. I'm sorry to be very clear. They don't give a fuck about feminism.
Not sure why A double S got in there, or how it got in there, rather. But just gonna go and buy that. So yeah, you suggested something, it didn't work. So just gonna move on. Yeah.
Wait, first lady is
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me? Am I breaking up?
lady?
I'm here. Am I breaking up?
I'm sorry.
No, you are not. Just that.
Can you hear me, first lady?
I can now.
Okay. So, First Lady, you're saying that the man that told us our conversation was shit, because it didn't affect their average person, the teacher, the man who teaches about households, even through the Bible, you mean to tell me he offered a topic and no one's interested in it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it
Okay.
appears to be that way.
Okay. Oh, as you would say, okay. Okay. Can we now go back to presidential corruption and the fucking reason why we have the United States, in part because of corruption of the sovereign or the executive? Or does anyone want to talk about feminism with arguably the worst single definition of feminism I've ever heard in my life?
I think everybody wants you to finish what you were talking about and keep Kenny and Kim Kardashian alone.
He said he can't conversation alone. Yeah, perhaps maybe we can swing back and to that conversation later, but we're gonna move forward. Okay. The corruption. So I don't understand why people don't see it. Yes, he was done correctly. The real question is why couldn't he wait another year and a half?
Or sue before. He could have sued. He had a year and a half to sue before he got back in office. He specifically waited until he was in office. That's the issue. But I don't want to belabor the point because presidential corruption and the corruption of our government doesn't affect the average person. I'm going to pay for the $1.7 billion.
I don't think it makes sense. Why would he wait to actually, like, if he can actually ensure that he's going to get the outcome that he wants, why would he wait? Like, if he actually wants to win the suit and he can be in control of the negotiation process because he's heading the executive branch, then why would he wait if his goal is to actually win?
Right. So if he can do something, so as the head of our country, if he could do something unethical, immoral, and we don't know if it's illegal or not, why wait? That's right. Why not be corrupt? Why not steal taxpayers' money? If you have the final say on it and you the boss of the people who are going to give you the money, that's a great point. Why wait? We should have local officials do the same thing. Right? They should be stealing money from the municipal workers. They should do all. Why wait? When you're in office and you're in charge, go ahead and steal. Just go ahead and take, because you're in charge and you get the outcome you want. That's right. Get in power so you can take taxpayer dollars. This is the intellectual conversation I wanted. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this is what white men have done for ages. Is this new information to you? Why not do it?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Wait,
And
okay,
since
so
we should just roll over and take it. We shouldn't talk about it. Partially, what do you think of feminism?
don't like that. I'm just Omari, why are you giving him a 100? That's what I want to know, because I don't to be in office, to have the control over that office. You're the boss, and I don't see how y'all don't see where that's a conflict. I don't understand.
No, I think Omar was saying that he's corrupt. I think Omar was actually.
I saw that he put that in there, but he did 100 on the boy when he was saying something else. When Kenny was saying something, I'm like, why are you saying that? What are you doing?
Well,
I didn't understand.
black male Trump supporters have to do everything to find ways to justify. Oh, everybody's got it. They should do it too. They have to normalize. Yeah, they have to normalize Trump. So they have to do it. Totem Pole is the only one with integrity so far that's really come through. I at least give him credit for.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still. I mean, I'm still with it.
He breaking up, buddy. Is he breaking up for you?
It doesn't matter either way.
It does. Because Kenny, we can't hear you, Ken. Kenny, we couldn't hear what you said. I want to hear what you have to say. But is it possible, because when I'm sitting here and I've been listening, I haven't said anything, haven't interrupted, I haven't did any reactions, nothing, zero, doing different things. But I continuously hear you use the word opponent. Do you think this is a game? I want you to really think about that tonight when you lay your head down. Is this a game for you?
Hold on. Mountain. This is for blacks. You're not welcome here, Mountain. You called me a nigger 4 times the other day. You were calling all the niggers. You're not welcome here, bro. You can leave on your own, or they'll boot you. So you can do what you want to do. You call us all niggers. You didn't want to talk it. We were talking about. So you can either leave on your own, or we'll just boot you. We'll give you a few seconds to decide. All right, First Lady. This is a man that called all of us niggers the other day because he came in a conversation that his mods were having, and in the midst of that conversation, he didn't like it. He said these niggers are taking over the space. He used niggers several times. So we'll see. Okay, he's still here. Bye. Block for life.
As you said.
All right. Sorry, First Lady.
No worries. No. So
That's an N-word execution right there.
Yeah,
That was a good one. He set it up good.
I mean, so I just, what does that mean? Why are you continuously speaking as if
Hello?
this is a game, like you're fighting on a side, my opponent? Like,
I'm actually not. I'm not following.
You don't follow when I'm asking you a question about your use of the word opponent.
Oh, but my use of the word opponent was directed at Ban because for some reason Ban deems me as an opponent.
I don't.
He used that word?
I didn't use that word. I said I wanted to know how.
Well, functionally, that's
Wait a minute. Hold on. No. It was quiet in here. Reform was reading the back of a brownie's mix box. You need 2 eggs. She was done. I said, I think Kenny down here. I was in the conversation to hear what people think about Roy Trump. I mean, be careful to Omari. A lot of times people start to reform it. But Omari's giving good reasons about this and all that stuff. And so I wasn't trying to find an opponent. You said he was a lesser creature, so I was wondering how he was an evil. Then I got my bullshit. I don't fight with my opponent. We're not at a Congress union. I'm not James Baldwin and William Buckley. It's not a debate society. I'm talking to y'all in the Queen's Sense. I'm not doing leg press.
So the reason why I asked you, that's why I go ahead.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to because they invited me, and I'm respectful. Whenever someone invites me to the case, and I'm down for that. I thought that the ban was not allowing my view to have nuance. When I pointed that out to him, he got offended and basically started saying, "Well, I'm not gonna have a conversation."
Okay. One second.
At that point, he really was hoping.
Oh, okay.
Now, you can say, "Well, I don't believe on my opponent." Well, functionally, that's what you're doing. So, regardless, irregardless of that, I think that I don't think I think but I respect my lawyer. So I'm going to call him out.
Hello, guys. This is why blocking spam called. I can't even understand it. Is that me?
No, it's not true.
But what I don't necessarily tolerate is, am I breaking up or something?
Yeah, the whole time. We've been trying to tell you that, but you're yapping.
Kenny, okay, so let me, I was trying to stop you, but then I just went on and let you go because I didn't want you to think that I was trying to.
Well, regardless, irregardless, let him go. I've never heard someone correct themselves after saying regardless with irregardless. I've never heard that. I love this app. I hear things I never hear in real life. He said regardless and then corrected himself by saying irregardless. I heard that. That was interesting.
All right. So Kenny, I was saying or asking about the opponent piece because I was relating that to the fact about how you're not taking a moment to look at the case and understand your argument. You're arguing saying, well, why wouldn't he do this while he's actually there? Well, because it's supposed to be America first. So, you wait and have it litigated by people that you're not the boss of. That doesn't mean he's not going to win. He's definitely probably going to win. I mean, if he was wrong, he was wrong. So,
So I guess, let me try to tell you why I said that, right?
Okay.
If I posit that Trump is a fascist, right? And I know I'm not saying you're doing that, but that's typically the narrative. Maybe you agree he is a fascist, but he's a narcissistic fascist. Right?
I don't put titles.
I know, but the majority of individuals, that's what.
So now you're projecting on us. I thought you didn't like when people project.
I'm actually not.
Now you're projecting.
Hold on for a second, man.
You just said the majority of people do that. The majority of people don't do that.
Yeah, so let me clarify. You're right. Let me clarify what I mean by that. So the majority of his opponents argue that he is in fact a dictator, narcissist, fascist, all of those things, right? So what I'm doing is that I'm taking that to its logical conclusion. If in fact that's what he is, right? Why would he wait? If he is a corrupt fascist, why would he wait when he can just wait until he actually gets power and then sue when he actually has control over the negotiation process? So I'm asking you guys, what's wrong with
you
that?
already
If that's in line
lost.
with who he is, what's wrong with it? That's all I'm asking.
Well, just because a person is a thing doesn't mean that it's okay to go ahead and be that thing.
When will you fight?
You always hope that people make changes or try to do the right thing.
You are pathetic.
But in the way that you're thinking,
You're
saying
why
accept
not make
him
it
for what you
0.01%
know that
or
he
$1
is and allow him to do the thing that we all know is wrong. That is upside down thinking.
Oh, man beats his wife, First Lady. We know he beats his wife. Why talk about it? Let him beat his wife. He's a wife beater. Doesn't affect the everyday person.
Pathetic. When
So
will
it's
you
fine.
fight to win?
If man beats his wife, we know it's a wife beater. Well, of course he should beat his wife. This is the wife beater. And
Exactly.
it doesn't affect the everyday person. Just beating one woman. Who gives a fuck? Let's move on to talk about feminism.
Yeah,
What do you think about feminism?
and that's why earlier I initially was trying to lay out if we're gonna.
Hey, Ken, do you drive F-150?
1 second, let him finish talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why I initially laid out is that if I'm going to have a particular grievance with this, which I don't necessarily like. I mean, I think it's problematic, but I don't take grievance with it, meaning that I'm gonna go vote towards it. My point was that if it's something that we feel like should not happen, then Congress could easily just create guardrails preventing this to happen. But that's not a part of the conversations that I've heard. I haven't necessarily heard individuals when they're discussing this. It's only a way to just say Trump is evil, Trump is bad, he's corrupt. Which, okay, I agree with all of those things. If that is the case, though, we can easily create rails to prevent things like this from happening. And that was my solution to the room.
We can
Somehow
easily.
because Ben deems me as an opponent.
Yes.
He wants to continue to reduce the nuance of my position down. Try to make it as if I'm derailing the room when he brought me on stage.
Kenny, I'm trying not to have any crash out.
Hold on. Listen to Kenny's logic. Congress could easily pass a law curbing Trump. I want people to hear that. Congress could easily. That's what he just said. That's
not what I just said. That's not what I said.
You did say that. You said Congress could easily.
Keep doing it. You don't even realize you're doing it. It's so sad.
First lady, did he not just say that? Hold on, Kenny. Hold on, Kenny. First lady, did he just say Congress could easily pass a law doing X, Y, and Z?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, he did. That's not what I said.
Yes, you did.
I said
Congress.
Okay, well maybe he meant something else. Let's just hear.
That is what he said.
Okay,
is that what he said or not?
That is what he said.
Thank you.
It sounds like he wants to say something. That's not the interpretation he was trying to give. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, so that's actually not what I said, guys. I didn't mention anything about Congress passing a law to curb Trump. Congress can't do anything at this point to curb Trump. They really can't. What I was saying is that there's an issue in regards to the argument is Congress could introduce guardrails to prevent these types of things from happening. Conservatives argue, because this is the actual argument from conservatives, if Congress were to do something like this, all it would do is create a fourth branch of government. That's what I said earlier. And because Ben
Wait a minute, slow down. There you go. Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Let's just stick to the. You just said it again.
No, it's okay. You guys are missing it.
Okay, all right. One more time for me, because I'm slow.
Trump is already suing the IRS.
Yes.
He's already president. So what I'm referring to is in the future, not right now, because Trump's already doing it. Okay, he's already in control of the executive right now. I'm saying to prevent things like this from happening, not to curb Trump, to prevent things like this from happening in the future, Congress could introduce guardrails. That's what I said. Nothing about Trump. Because Ben, again.
Okay, Kenny, stop doing the meta.
I'm sorry, I want him to crash out. That's why I keep going.
I know, but wow.
Because this is fun. I'm having fun.
Okay.
What does that mean? Congress would introduce guardrails, and if it's not a law. And then the second question is, what would the fourth branch of government that conservatives say that will be created from said guardrails? I don't even know what that means. Break that down. That makes absolutely no sense.
Sure, I can explain it to you, man. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
do them one at a time. I can't understand it. Is that just me?
No, you're breaking up, Kenny.
Preventing. Can y'all hear me now? I'm on the
road. Explain the guardrails that Congress could create and how do they create it?
Sure. One, you could require an independent special counsel or sort of federal judge to approve settlements involving a sitting president, right? That could be one potential guardrail. A second guardrail, you could straight up ban presidents from financially benefiting from settlements that are being negotiated while they are in control of the executive. Irregardless of any of those things, the argument from conservatives is that is a fourth branch. It's going to have a fourth branch problem because all of these individuals would be unelected bureaucrats, essentially. And my point is, if I were to take the position that, hey, this is wrong and we should prevent not just Trump, but every president from ever being able to do something like this, regardless if they have a grievance or not, they shouldn't be able to do something like this, then I believe that you have to be on the side of, hey, Congress should introduce what I just laid out for you.
Okay. How is a federal judge a fourth branch? So of the people he named, federal judges were one of them. How would that be a fourth branch? And why would conservatives be upset with federal judges doing things when federal judges are quite literally Article 3 of the Constitution? That doesn't even make any sense. Secondly, on the independent counsel, there's already laws on the books regarding independent counsel. Thirdly, depending on the settlement, there's already laws that judges have to approve of them. Irregardless, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's all Greek to me, as Casca says. I don't know, man. People swear they know what they're talking about, and it's hard to have conversations with people who suggest that federal judges would be a fourth branch of government. They're quite literally in the Constitution in Article 3. I don't even understand. Irregardless, that makes no sense. I don't know personally. I'm not going to crash. I got 10 seconds left before my next set. I'm going to use every 10 seconds. I got 5 seconds left. I'm just saying irregardless until I'm done. Irregardless, 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 irregardless.
Hush. Yeah, you just trying to trigger that boy. Now you know that ain't right. Kenny, did you want to respond?
No, because he didn't. I mean, I don't disagree with anything he said. He wasn't arguing against my point. I said conservatives. I said conservatives argue that it's a fourth branch. I agree that it's not a fourth branch. But that's what conservatives argue. Like that's what a lot of them argue. Like I said, so I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying. Again, what the problem is that ultimately you have to take a side. Like you can. Okay, so you don't have to take a side. Let me rephrase that. You could just say, hey, what Trump is doing is wrong, and you can complain about it, right? In my opinion, I think that that's fine. I think complaining about it, saying your grievance, it's wrong, he's corrupt, et cetera, et cetera. I think that there's another side of the group of individuals who are saying, hey, we should prevent anyone from ever being able to do these things. Because if, in fact, he's doing it right now. He's doing it.
But listen to this.
My point is that if you're going to have, if we're going to have there's another conversation that we can have that could be centered around, okay, is it imperative for Congress to prevent things like this from happening in the future? And I think that it is, because if they're going to argue and debate about it, I don't think it should just be centered around Trump is corrupt. I think it should be centered around, hey, this shouldn't be something that's possible.
Well, let me just let you in on something. I need to rewind the tape real quick because, people go about different ways to have conversations. When we were in the middle of having a conversation, you butted in and said, I don't think we need to be talking about this. You don't remember that? So, yeah, we can have the conversation. We can get to that. If in fact that is the idea. But part of the problem, and nobody's necessarily focusing on the corruption more than understanding that we're breaking laws and norms that we all have been used to. And once those things are broken, it's hard to go back to them. So you're saying, and what you're suggesting is, well, just go ahead and let them do it. Go ahead and let them do it. And then we'll fix it on the back end. Right? That's what you're saying. That's your suggestion.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm saying, yeah, I'm speaking from a realistic, not saying you guys aren't. I'm saying that he is doing it right now. He's going to continue to do it. So he is in fact suing.
Okay, so you saying don't fight this battle?
I'm not saying. Okay, hold on for a second. Again, I don't know how much more clear I can make this. I'm not giving like some sort of prescription for what everyone else should do. I am saying that what Trump is doing right now is that he is suing the IRS. I personally think that is a conflict of interest, and I believe that it should not be something that's able to happen. Now, am I willing to think that there should be guardrails that Congress imposes? I don't know. That's where I'm on the fence about it, because I don't know what that would necessarily look like. I know what the arguments have been for that I've heard, and I've had conversations with Democrats. What they've said should what these guardrails should look like, but I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I think that ultimately, if we're going to have agreements about it, I think it should be principled, and it shouldn't be Trump just centered at Trump. I think it should be a principled position. Hey, this is wrong. Presidents should not be allowed.
Let's go back to feminism.
What's a conflict of interest?
They should be able to take money from taxpayers, essentially.
I don't even know what could you describe what the conflict of interest is with, I mean, just as a principle, a party suing another party.
What's the other party?
So you're saying Trump is suing the IRS. Where's the conflict of interest?
Okay, so is Trump in control of the executive? Is he not the one that's gonna? Is he not in control of the individuals that's gonna be negotiating these things?
You talking about like him having an attorney within the IRS?
No. Okay. So is the IRS under Trump's fear?
It's not a conflict of interest. He can sue personally. That has nothing to do with him sitting in office as an executive, and 9 times out of 10 he has an attorney. He's not pro se suing the IRS.
What do you guys say?
I don't understand what y'all.
No, that's actually not. Maybe we can put the.
I guess what I'm confused about is like when, just as a general matter, like how does it become a conflict of interest? For example, if you are an employer, you sue your employee. If you're a superior, you sue an inferior. Just as a general matter, I'm just curious about what the conflict of interest would be, and how can a judge not resolve that conflict of interest?
I'm gonna explain how.
Wait, we're putting Black Freedom. Maybe you can get caught up with what's going on. So a judge has already ruled. Ben, can you explain it again?
I haven't been following this particular matter, so.
I'm confused.
Adverse possession, not
Wait, you're
adverse.
you're saying the sitting you don't see it. Wait, I'm not confused. Do you know the IRS, Trump versus the IRS?
I haven't been following that litigation. I'm just curious about like the actual term of art, conflict of interest. Like, what's the particular conflict?
The conflict of interest is that, okay, so Trump is the plaintiff, right? So he is the person suing. The IRS is a part of the executive.
So we're talking about suing your own agency, essentially, within let's say the executive authority, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. So the individuals that Trump is suing, right, are part of the executive branch, which Trump has control over, which means that the president he appoints all of the executive leadership. So that means the DOJ that's defending the government, like they're defending the government against the plaintiff, which is the person that put them in leadership. Do you not see the conflict of interest?
No, I was.
So you're saying that the government can't sue the government?
Wait, let me read this part, and then I'll put something for Black Freedom. So Trump is suing the IRS. He's trying to make a settlement. So the settlement is expected to stave off a concern raised by the judge overseeing his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS, who has ordered Trump and the DOJ to justify by next week why the case should be able to proceed. In a ruling last month, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams questioned whether Trump and the defendants, the Treasury Department, and the IRS are sufficiently adverse for the case to proceed. This is her words. These are her words. Moreover, although President Trump avers that he is bringing this lawsuit in his personal capacity, He is the sitting president, and his named adversaries are entities whose decisions are subject to his direction. Indeed, President Trump's own remarks about this matter acknowledge the unique dynamic of this litigation. Trump's words were in October. It's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And you know that decision would have to go across my desk. It's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. So this is not theoretical. This is literally what's happening. But I'll put the article in the chat.
Okay, that's different. There's no adversarial party. I was thinking like as an actual technical legal term, conflict of interest. Like normally, so for example, if I have a conflict of interest, it's because, for example, like let's say I would have to if there was an employee of mine or an attorney of mine who was representing an adverse party, I would have to wall that person off.
So that's literally what's happening because the DOJ lawyers are defending the government essentially, but he appoints them.
Yeah, I put the article in the chat, Black Freedom. If you're not familiar with it, it's actually a pretty big thing. Trump is actually suing, I think he has 3 cases. I think one was for, one is for the IRS for the leak of his returns. The other one is when they went to Mar-a-Lago for the documents. I think he's suing that for $320 million. Does anybody remember the third one? I can pull it back up in the article. Ben, do you remember? There's a third case that he's suing. I can't remember, but it's 3 cases. But the IRS settlement is the one that's at issue. I'm still reading about this, y'all, but yeah, Black Freedom, you may want to read up on it. It's significant. Yeah.
There's a couple where he is pursuing the payment of a civil suit that was won against him, and he's suing to stop the payment on that lawsuit. Everyone that has really studied Trump knows that he is self-determined not to pay one thin dime, nor a plug nickel, not even a red cent in taxes. If he does happen to be entrapped and has to pay taxes, he will go after them to get the goddamn money back.
I think they already ruled that he doesn't have to pay E. Jean Carroll. Sorry for interrupting. Is that what you're talking about?
I know exactly. You know exactly.
I think that they already
the point is greater than who.
That,
yeah. The point of the question that now the pertinent cross-examination question again is contained in the statement. The judge who asks, "Why in the hell should I allow this matter to go forward?" That is the pertinent cross-examination question. You can't
I don't think that's
yourself.
right.
You can't reward yourself. You can't be in between you and the law that has been put in place to bring justice. You cannot do justice by yourself. You will naturally, by human nature, rule in the favor of yourself, regardless of the witnesses, regardless of the evidence, and regardless of the testimony that you will rule in favor of yourself every time. Who goes down and say, "Well, I plead guilty and I'll sentence myself to 7 years in the penitentiary," which is there about what could be, if there is a Justice Department at all, there's at least 7 years contained if it is discovered a scandal or an impediment to justice or unidentifiable means that he is the one being sued or he's the one that would suffer the loss. So when they say identifiable means meaning he is the accused and he turns around and becomes the accuser.
Yes, sir. I think we're
obstruction to justice.
Okay,
it's
just
an
1
impossibility, an impossibility to arrive at justice.
Right. I think we're.
And I land my plane just saying my.
Okay, I think we're just explaining it for Black Freedom. But anywho, yeah, I'm gonna look up the third reason, and I just want to point out what Amari said. I know leave the chat in the chat, but Amari, just because Black Freedom is not familiar with it, that does not mean that it's not a big deal, sir. Respectfully, just FYI, this is a very big deal. And the slush fund would be even more of a big deal, or whatever it is that he's trying to do. Big, illegal, unethical deal. But Black Freedom said he was reading about the specifics. What are you talking about? It came up on the New York Times Google search. The creation of the settlement came up, sir. Yes, because I pay attention to this. We've heard about this. Like, are you serious right now? All of our information comes from the news. I don't think any of us are correspondents. And as much as you stay in Donald Trump's ass, you rarely bring any actual news to the table, except when it has to do with the subjugation of black men, because you forget that you're a nigga.
What's
So
going on?
you want no? He's talking shit in the chat. I'm tired of him. Like, the always got something to say. Like, what are you talking about? We're talking about this because it is news. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. It's news. You should be happy that Donald Trump is getting a settlement. Your big daddy is actually going to settle with the IRS. Your fellow brethren, the J6ers, you're not going to praise the fact that 1,600 white people are going to get $1 million from Daddy Trump? You should be excited about it.
Okay.
Not only is it stacking
No, Uncle, one second.
Miscarriage of justice.
Uncle, please, one second. So, Omari, you said, so if I got this right, he was saying, well, Black Freedom doesn't know about it, then it's not that important. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, that's absolutely wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with the lawsuit, but what I will say is that he said, go, man, my bad. I didn't know.
He said it's a big deal, and he said a big deal on Clubhouse. He said outside of Clubhouse. I said yes, it's big in the federal courts and for those that care about the constitutional order of the United States. And he said a Clubhouse real lawyer didn't even follow this case. So yeah, he was saying because that he didn't follow the case, then it could be a big deal. Of course, it is a big deal because it has everything to do with adversarial interests, adversarial parties in court around the president, something that hadn't been worked out before. It literally goes to the relationship between the branches. It goes to the core of the Constitution and order. But it's a January 6th thing. And you have to remember, this homegirl got shot down. And so he's always on Trump's side of January 6th because they shot his homegirl down. Remember, that was Omari's friend, the girl that got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the good news again, it is in the hands of we the people, and if we the people decide to stop that goddamn case, it will be stopped. It's just you don't have enough self-determination.
Ambassador, please.
Well, I'm just saying to you the truth. If you don't want me to say the truth, it's fine.
Well, don't say the truth. Don't say the truth.
Fine. But the case can't be stopped.
Well, it may not be a top story, but there wasn't a story that we wanted to talk about because we had already covered it. What are we doing? Chill out. Yeah, because right now, if we leave from this, there's nothing else to talk about, for real. So, I mean,
I'm okay, First Lady. I forgot that I haven't eaten, so I'm going to go eat. But Omari, I follow news about the IRS, sir. I suggest that you do as well. But anywho, thank y'all for having the discussion. I did not realize that. So he's, maybe, Dan, you look like you read a little bit more. So he's suggesting the settlement. Yeah, I saw that in your moment. He's suggesting the settlement, but the case itself is still being litigated. Interesting.
Well, the good news is this is not the evil of Kamala Harris. You know, she had an abortion policy. When people can have a personal responsibility and not have abortions, or you have a better economy, which leads to fewer abortions. But even though we know this guy's evil and corrupt, he was still the lesser of two evils. So that's a good thing to know, because we're in a war, 187 girls killed. Those kills don't matter because they're Iranian. War all over the world. Prices are through the roof, got worse. Gas through the roof. But guess what? This is not as evil as Kamala Harris would have been because she would have had an abortion policy that I don't know what the policy would have been. The presidents don't really seem to set abortion policy because they're now done at the state level. But hey, does it matter that Trump's abortions have gone up since the overturn of Roe? It's her policy that was evil. And that's the worst evil, right? Cutting food stamps and meals for Meals on Wheels or cutting Medicaid to take care of the poor, which actually comes directly from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, for those of you who know the Beatitudes. That, of course, was more evil. So to show her policies, it's more life-giving, but she was the evil one. It's because she's a black woman. And because she's a woman. We all know it. Everything she was going to do was more evil than this guy. Can't crash now. Got some more squats to get to. I'm done.
The way that MAGA substantiates any and everything that Donald Trump does literally has to be studied. So Omari's supposition is now that it is a quote-unquote filler story. We literally have individuals come in here and talk about random counties all across the country that none of us live in, have been to, know a single person, and we talk about,
Well, let's talk about this part of it. Because the downplaying. I think it's very dangerous for them to continuously downplay stuff like that because it normalizes it. So I agree with you in regards to the downplaying. If in fact the thing is wrong, you gotta work on the thing that's wrong. You can't downplay it and say, "Oh well, it's just this." No, because then people think that you're accepting it, and then they do more, and then they do more and more and more. It just gets greater. So the more you ignore, the more you actually welcome it in this situation. So, yeah, you gotta stop downplaying it. It's not cool.
Let's talk about feminism. What do you think about feminism first? Let's go to the topic that's really gonna affect people's day-to-day lives. What do you think about them?
I don't know, child. I don't know. You know, I'm grateful that I didn't live in a time when feminism did not exist. I know they say they have several different waves of it, but I don't know.
How do you think Kamala Harris's policies are more evil than Trump's? Because remember, they were two evils. So, which one of her policies? Give us the a few policies of hers that are evil. I got 7 seconds for the next set. Opponent.
Yeah, I thought it was irregardless.
Switch with each one. Opponent.
This guy's crazy. I don't focus on those. I don't know. That's my answer. I just know that it doesn't make sense for somebody to have a conversation about abortion and then not care about what's happening to the numbers in the present time.
It's insane, isn't it?
That's pretty weird.
That's pretty weird. No, I'm that one that gets blamed for flattening nuance. So I'm talking about the material effects on the ground, which, if you're interested in abortion, that's an issue for you. It's not a normative concern. It's an applied one, right? But I'm the one that's not into the nuance. It's insane.
So since we're back to my view, I'll go ahead and stop in here. So again, there's a difference between the number of something that happens and the legality behind it. So one side advocates for federal protections for abortion. The other side advocates that it goes back to the state. Both of those views to me are evil. Like Trump's view is evil. Kamala Harris's view is evil. Both of them are. Because in my opinion, the non-evil view is federal abortion ban. So, but because I deem both of them are evil, I have to see which one of those are the lesser of two evils. A person that says federal legal protection for abortion, and the other one that says, hey, it should go back to the states. That was my position. What you did was double under Trump, it's still more abortions happening. When that's, again, my principle of why I voted was on the basis of not how many, it's not like I voted for Trump, like, oh, abortion's going to go away now. The idea was, well, at least it's moving away from at least it being a legal right. Okay. So that's why you removed the nuance. Hold on for a second. You did remove the nuance, and you actually just did it again.
You never mentioned state and federal ban.
And the reason you're doing it is because you're my
You never mentioned federal and state bans before. No, hold on 1 second, brother. Hold on. Just to be fair to me, and I'll let you finish. Hold on, Kenny, we're going to move you down. You never mentioned federal and state bans before. You never said that federal and state bans.
Yes, I did. Come on.
No, you didn't.
Come on, man.
He doesn't tell the truth. There's no need to have a conversation.
Kenny, what's going on, bro? You never mentioned federal and state bans.
You're being ridiculous, man.
Wait a minute. Hold on. First lady, did he say...
What am I talking?
No, he never said anything about.
Hold on. First of all, if you were speaking to policy... Okay, but let me answer. If you were speaking to legalities...
I can't help
Let me answer. Let me tell you. If you're speaking to legalities... Oh, shut the fuck up, yo. Shut up. If you're speaking to legalities, you would actually be speaking about Dobbs. You didn't mention Dobbs. You didn't mention a federal ban. You didn't mention federal protections or state protections. Okay? That happened in 2022. The election was in 2024. Okay? Opponent. Regardless. He's another dummy. I gotta be honest with y'all. Why do Trump supporters lie? We just heard this man lie like 4 times in 20 minutes.
At least.
Did anybody hear him mention federal ban?
No.
Federal protection? He did not.
No.
Did you all hear him say he did not say that Congress could easily pass?
And then came right back and said.
The fact that he didn't say that? Come on, man. I think replays are silly because people, do weird stuff with them and chop and screw and stuff. But I'm starting to reevaluate replays. He literally said Congress could easily pass X, Y, and Z. I didn't say that. Oh, I mentioned federal bans. He never mentioned federal bans, federal protections, or anything. He's an idiot. It's hard to have conversations with these people. They all lie. All of them lie.
Yeah.
The only one that doesn't lie who talks to the MAGA is maybe Jamal. He might be the only one that doesn't regularly lie. They all lie. It's strange. It's really strange.
Well, I think the reason why he don't tell too many stories is because he's too busy bullcrapping around. So.
Well, he said he's a teacher.
Oh,
what? Kenny. Well, I'm sorry. He says he teaches. He didn't say he was a teacher. Didn't you hear him? So I would teach that. Didn't you hear that?
No.
That's
I heard you calling him a teacher, but I wasn't paying attention when he said.
Oh, when I said the thing about submission, he was like, "Oh, I don't teach that." They didn't say that. People wanted to know what he taught. Yeah, he'd be strong. You know, go back up because I don't lie. You can see it. That level of lying is insane. I never said Congress could easily pass something. And then he said there's a bunch of conservatives who would call it a fourth branch of government. He ain't named one. I talked to Democrats, and Democrats have these guardrails, and I don't know about it. He ain't named one guardrail, one Democrat. Kenny is a prime A1 bullshitter. That's all he is. He's a liar and a bullshitter. He lies and bullshits.
I thought he was a good guy. He had a nice.
I thought he was too.
Did he have a little suit on, a little shirt and tie?
And he was kind of cool. But then with a lot of this stuff online, I know y'all don't like when Brooke does. A lot of this stuff, I'm telling y'all, Donald Trump would not have won if it wasn't this online gender stuff. It is this gender stuff. I'm telling you. And now he has to double and triple down. You heard him say, well, why wouldn't he do it when he's now? Huh? Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, but then he was sitting there fighting to tell Black freedom, why it's wrong and all. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, I ain't gonna say nothing, I'm just gonna let him go ahead and talk.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. Look who's on the court. My self-esteem is not low today. But if I play these guys, I'm going to come out of here feeling like Anthony Edwards.
You need help.
I'm playing full court on this one. I'm about to go over there.
Not paying the YN. That's a look.
They playing full court. You gonna play with them? Is it the East Asian?
Yeah. I cannot confirm or deny, but I will say, if I brought my laptop in to be fixed, they could fix it.
That's nasty. You play too much.
You can't even have a honest convo with the that was an insane. That man said he mentioned federal protection. That man never mentioned federal protection. I don't understand it. Jamal is the only one. I was wrong. I don't understand. You know why? You know why it is, don't you, First Lady? You know why it is?
No.
Can I tell you what the problem is?
No.
They feel like it's racial betrayal. I think a lot of Black Trump supporters who said, let's try something different. I like Democrat. And they see the bad effects on them and their communities and Black people generally. I really think they feel like race traitors, and this is how they deal with it. That's what I really believe. I really believe they know that Donald Trump is terrible and terrible for their communities, whatever that is, and they just can't bring themselves to admit it. Whatever that stage of grief is, and I don't know if that's the first stage, but they know it's bad, and so they get around people like me and you and others, and they're like, come on, man, and you want to actually, they just can't admit it. They feel like they're race traitors. I never heard a bunch of Black men going around talking about loving Donald Trump. This is the weirdest thing. What? This dude is eating his blonde wig, and you defended him like he's your daddy. You 50-year-old man in love with a president like that? That's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, okay, so I hear you. Maybe that could be the case for some. I also think that a lot of them grew up telling stories.
You
Some
said
of
they
these
got a lying habit.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. I'm really being super 100% honest at how I feel.
Yeah, you say this a lot.
Every time I speak with them, it's always I gotta pull the truth out. I gotta go here. I gotta go there. The only way I got to get him on track was by asking him about the opponent. I'm asking him, is it a game? And then it was like it started softening him up. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, well. He's like, well, I didn't say it was, I'm not saying it is right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why don't we focus and do this? Now he coming up with all these creative ideas. Why weren't you there a few minutes ago? So I think it's just the ability to come up with these stories and be able to tell them. because all of them had the same talking points, and some are very creative with the talking points. Some can't sell it as well, but I think they didn't get corrected as a child in telling stories, or if they did get corrected, they just learned how to lie more. So that's my theory.
I don't think people supported Obama this much. That's what's crazy to me. And I've noticed that, like, they will double down on defense. Like, where is Notorious? Like, they will just, it's like they are in love with Donald Trump. And I don't understand it. Like, they can't articulate or regurgitate any of his policies, any legislation. You're right, First Lady. It's like they all get the same YouTube channels or Fox News or X.
It's a secret download.
Right. It's like, but to hear them mimicking white MAGA because they're in this spaces because they're not welcome in white MAGA spaces. That's the crazy part.
No, that's not true.
I mean, if somebody's calling them the N-word, a lot of them have come in these spaces because we've argued with these people for years on this app. And I'm like, why aren't you with your brethren?
I don't like being place where people calling, that. But, here's the truth coming out. Because I do believe that they created this, let's come together and fight, these Democrats because they are just bad. They're trying to change the world and we don't want that. So they came together. They united under those premises, forgetting that a lot of these people are still racist. So then you're like, okay, well, I can't sit with them because, I still have some kind of dignity. Not all of them. I literally heard some of them sit there and kiki with it and be okay and find ways to continuously fit in. So I think there's something about how, the acceptance of that side means a lot to them. And they also are addicted to the badass about Trump. Trump is badass. I ain't gonna lie to you. I will. Y'all can hate me if you want, but he, the way he talk, all that, they love that. That they enjoy it, and that's what the Democrats hate. The Democrats don't like it, So, but these people, they eat it up. They laugh at it. They find it funny. So they like that macho kind of thing. I think that's the feeling that that they vibe off. So, and because they like that feeling, they'll do and they'll say anything that continues to keep it. That's my rant. I have nothing else.
I don't think that Trump is a badass. He is a privileged, wealthy, billionaire white man. There's a dime a dozen. They can Peter Thiel. They can the CEO of Apple. They can there's hundreds to choose from. He's a foul mouth, orange, diaper wearing. Like, do you literally look? I was looking.
What about Musk?
Musk is a racist. Have y'all seen him online railing against James Cameron because Lupita is in the now if y'all want to see that, if y'all want to
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, thank you. Christopher Nolan. Have y'all seen that shit? Him literally losing his mind because Lupita is in the damn Odyssey movie? Elon Musk is a racist. I do agree. Trump just said it's anti-boule. It's anti-establishment. It's like it's trendy to be pro-Trump First Lady, which I don't understand. But I don't think that Trump is a badass. I don't. He falls asleep in meetings. I look at the man in his suits. Did y'all, there is something back there. And I'm not hating on the elderly, right? Because, you know, Jesus be offense with incontinence. It could happen to any one of us. We don't know how we're going to be in those elder years. But my God in heaven, that man, the back of his suit, it hunches up like that. You can literally see it. That man is wearing a diaper. That is a big ass Depends.
Okay.
And nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm just saying.
Okay. I mean, I'm not here to forbid people.
Well, that's not a badass if he's wearing a big ass diaper. That was my point.
Okay. And
But I have some confused.
your point is well taken, and I'm gonna pass it right to you.
People on the chat were just like,
The badass part, if you don't think it, then that's fine.
No,
For
I
me,
said no
what I
words.
think is what I think. I think that he's badass. The fact that I can fall asleep and still have a fucking job on TV, yeah, I'm bad. Hello?
Reckon
Yeah,
had
what you gonna do? Who wanna check?
No, he just wants you to stop.
Yeah, I'm bad. I can walk around with a diaper and shit myself and still have people respect me. So, again, that is defined how people
Why, Sandy? Because I think
I think they see power in him. I think there's some other people that want to introduce some additional stuff. Go ahead, Ben.
I know you have to take that out on people. Something. Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy is the daughter of Zeus.
we're just like, we got enough.
I'm actually
On and on. People in the chat were just like, we got enough.
I'm confused. I'm
You ready to go yet?
This is my real eyeball, and I am throwing it away because it's not real. I have been lied to.
USA Safe
Yeah, it's really flirty. It reminds me of the hate about the Little Mermaid. It reminds me of, I'm not a fan of the Hunger Games, but do y'all remember when the little young girl, I can't remember her name, when they found out that she was being played by the black character, and they were really, really racist. I can't remember her name. If anybody's a fan of the Hunger Games. Ruth, thank you, April. Lost their ever-loving mind. So, I don't know. I don't even think they've read the Odyssey. I don't think they read the Iliad. I don't think they know who Odysseus is. Then, like that Kevin Zarbo, who y'all remember him? He played Hercules. They were like, your ass ain't Greek, so you played Hercules. He is tweeting shit. They're tweeting shit about like the coastline, saying look how it's being portrayed in this movie. And he put like a resort picture, and people were like, you stupid ass, this couch is missed, so that they couldn't find it. Like, they are melting. Have y'all seen this on X? Talking about the beach is not attractive, all kinds of crazy shit, man.
Let me tell you why I'm confused. This is why I'm confused.
This is your
I
moment
saw
to
he had tweeted out or retweeted somebody that he had like a bunch of fake posts and it said like Obama and Ryan Gosling was playing Obama or Muhammad Ali. And I'm confused because I didn't know that was in response to the Odysseus movie. I mean, to the Odyssey. So Muhammad Ali is an actual person who many of us have seen in person. I remember the other thing, but I didn't know they were responding to people playing gods. Because you can't use real people.
Oh my God.
I didn't know. I saw somebody Muhammad Ali was played by Ryan Gosling. But every time you hear Muhammad Ali decides who he is.
Drop it. Drop it.
Wait till they find out who the actual author of Odyssey.
Am I in a stressful situation? There was a
No. It was the whole thing.
there was a whole musical narrative.
I guess I kinda like the way you know the pain. And now the day leaves,
classicist.
That's right. No, I actually, I can post a link for it. I got a Greek historian. Yeah, several Greek historians have flat out said this dude didn't exist.
So my wife just had her wisdom
I can
teeth
post a link for
removed,
it.
and she is not allowed to
How
eat
you want to lose
hard
weight,
foods
but whoever wrote
for the next week. So to
That's so
improvise, we got some Alaskan king crab, and since the meat is so soft here, she's able to eat it. So we found a good middle ground for her
I didn't like it. I told her.
to be able to still eat good,
It was
but not hurt her wisdom teeth. So enjoy your little crapsicle.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. How do I get
But you know when
We're not changing.
Time to say goodbye to the giant pile of foam in my backyard.
The link is in
Back
the,
there, when I shoved
chat.
it all out the door after having ripped it off my walls. It was in my workshop. I made a custom
But if
foam
you have
room,
to,
but I'm moving
like,
out, so
Elon
all my
Musk
hard work
is
has
just,
got to go. What's crazy is that when I recycle this, it will get turned into
Be
carpet
prepared
pattern, so
to look
my
at
art
it.
installation is going to
The
get
way that they have
reinstalled
these
under someone's
meltdowns.
carpet. We're putting all this foam into the
Oh, look,
recycling truck,
he's
except
still
it's full of
toasting
all the
this
other
shit.
stuff I'm recycling. Yeah, these guys have.
Do you want to receive a free Bible?
And yeah, it was what Ben was saying. If Ryan Gosling played Barack Obama, if Anthony Hopkins played Nelson Mandela, if Viggo Mortensen played 12 Years a Slave, losing their goddamn minds. If Alec Baldwin defended the Netanyahu because Elon Musk had the opportunity to actually attack her looks. He tweeted 6 minutes ago, I agree that she is beautiful. The casting a black woman to play a white woman in a foundational work of European literature is no more right than casting a white man to play Shaka Zulu. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all know how they're doing. Did you say a white foundational? White foundational? I'm sorry, Mom. That is funny as shit. The Odyssey is a foundational work of white. Oh my god. Elon must be tweeting about Shaka Zulu. That shit is funny as hell.
Mannheim attack, and Afghan attacks, and anti-Islam rally. And
Guys, Temu is absolutely insane.
What's the
My
point of this
personal
paper
opinion
you
is, for what it's worth, is that she's done.
just
You know,
one. I
she's
got several.
She had her chance and had her shot, and she missed it. I don't think she'll be the Democratic nominee. I would love to.
You were playing. I'm saying what I said.
yeah, that's just insane.
I said it was not for him. Wait. Let me rephrase. The person who wrote Iliad and Odyssey was not Homer.
Okay, yes, we've known since before I was born that it was a collection.
That was my literal statement, man.
No, what's it?
We were literally talking about the fucking Odyssey.
There you go, folks. You see it?
Was a collection of Greek bards. However, there was someone called Homer that scholars have found. That's what I said. Your literal statement was Homer didn't. It's fine. We agree. We ultimately agree. That's cool. There was not one single person who wrote the Iliad. That's true. But there was a poet, although an obscure one, who was called Homer, who literally existed.
Yeah, Homer.
Cite papers from under.
By the way, we can't hear you, man. You keep going in and out. I've read several different papers on it. This is in a lot of scholarship. And by the way, I know it is. Hold on, just to be clear. There's several Greek historians. They've been doing a ton of interviews since the Odyssey's been coming out. I don't know if you watched any of them. They all come out and say, well, yeah, Homer really didn't exist. I don't have
to watch them. I go to them. The classics department's in my building. I know them. I don't have to go on YouTube like you. I studied Homer in graduate school. Did you?
Okay, then you should know exactly what I'm talking about.
What I said was correct. What you said was incorrect.
which is fine. We now agree.
Wait, what do you say? I'm saying it's incorrect?
You said that Homer literally did not exist.
No.
And
Ban.
That was your first statement. It's
No, ban.
Oh my God, bro.
The person who they believe wrote the Odyssey, this person did not exist.
No one believes that.
Don't say no one. People do believe that.
No, I'm talking about scholars.
You know, we had this girl from Sudan earlier, and she said that their women are getting raped as well.
Is a collection of ancient bards.
I mean, how long has Castro been in power? Nearly 80 years.
However,
he's been starving those people for years. And, they made, not the Cuban people, but Castro, when he took over, they made their choice. They cozied up to the Soviets. Obviously, that didn't work out for them, right? I mean, but it got to a point to where they were allowing the Russian to, they didn't successfully do it, but they were going to allow the Russian or the Soviets to station nuclear ballistic missiles in Cuba. Remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? But that was all turned around through some agreements and secret agreements in exchange for Cuba not hosting Russian missiles. We would secretly take our missiles out of Turkey, I believe it was at the time, but it wasn't really well known. But anyway, they cozied up to the Soviets. That didn't work out for them, and then they cozied up to the Venezuelans who were supplying their only source of oil. Obviously, that's not going so well. Maduro's out of the picture. So they're like, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's not our fault, but there's a bunch of children and women and elderly who can't get hospital care because they don't have electricity. There's blackouts everywhere. It's a real shame. What's up, Pepe? Looks like Cuba's about to fall here soon, bro. But they're saying, now this is Facebook. I gotta really be careful with what Facebook says, but I've seen a couple news outlets that are saying that Cuba is apparently building up 300 drones to attack the Guantanamo base. So I don't know if that's true. But it could be one of those things where, we were saying that Maduro was sending in drug boats from Venezuela to Trinidad, eventually making its way to America. We could, it'll be the same thing. We're charging them with something like that, posturing up, and, they're about to collapse. They just need something to really kick it off.
I don't think it's going to be as hard as a battle or operation like in against the Islamic Republic of Iran. I think it's going to be quite. I think it's going to be a faster operation, maybe like in Venezuela, but a bit different, I would imagine. But I don't think it will take so long.
Here's the thing: is like I've read quite a bit just because I like the movie A Few Good Men. The relationship between like the soldiers in Guantanamo Bay and the Cubans that have to basically be their mere or sentries outside of the base. They have a pretty good relationship. It's pretty professional. They haven't had any theft.
Go to Wall Street. Go to Wall Street with a millionaire's at. Boy, them boys that cocaine.
Y'all ever met somebody that was off of pills?
No.
Yeah, so cocaine has a certain sound and look and effect. It's not hard to tell when you coke.
No. Oh, no. Out here just like
not that.
But I don't think the Cubans are willing. Most of them are willing to fight the Americans. They know that ain't gonna fucking last long. But maybe I'm wrong. Peter, what are you listening to? Good job.
What's Peter?
Sounds like fucking North Korean propaganda or something.
I swear to God, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because last time, when we had a discussion, as soon as he found out that I was a monarchist, he attacked me. And the other monarchists. Such a democratic person he is. And then
Glow, why are you a monarchist? Why do you think it's a better form of government?
A moderator. Now you will see what's gonna happen.
You know what's crazy about Cuba? I think
Now it is not possible to be taken. The medal, I just have it on this stage.
what's sad about Cuba, though, man, is
That's
that
what you're saying.
It is not possible to be bought by money like premium account. It is something by meritorious factors.
I cannot understand what the fuck you're even saying, Mark.
You don't need to understand. You don't need to speak after that. Everybody else understand. People understand.
Hey, Glow, yeah, I got a question for you about your monarchy. Glow, why do you think monarchy is the best form of government?
Well, first of all, you have to look at the region you're in, and you have to look at what types of monarchies there are. When you have a republic, you have a parliament, you have parliamentarians. You can have parliamentarians in your republic. You can have parliamentarians in your monarchy. You can have a constitutional monarchy, or either a full-on monarchy. If you look back at before '79, you had a monarchy and a parliament also, even though it wasn't officially a constitutional monarchy. So, you have to look at the region.
Yeah, have you thought about just having a parliament but not having a king and a queen and a royal family? Doesn't that make more sense than to have a royal family? Hello? So you're saying that you need a you're saying you need a strong monarchy to kill other men or women. Peter.
Now that is a voice I like to hear. Did you hear that? What? Speak again, please. What was that again? Excellent. Yes, thank you. Anyway, people are about to fall. So I ran the thing. It's not easy. I said this before. This country is new, but it will be resolved. Fuel prices will go back down. It's going to be just fine.
Well, I don't know. Who's gonna come in place? I don't know who the
What was it, vice president? I mean, I think a lot of people think that it was too soon to go to America for quite a while. I think that's how I think it was. She seems to have embraced, we love America sentiments. Trains, which doesn't always work out, or someone that is living inside like some sort of organized opposition? No, not really. Probably that. Cuban government is really good about making people go to jail or disappear if you talk out to them. Like this guy named Rick Shea, this guy who exposing the Somali daycare sales and shootings in Minnesota. He just went to Cuba, and literally he went there. He got a press pass. He went there, and his shit was immediately seized by the Cuban government and by the Cuban authorities. And then they had spies watching him the whole time. And he got interrogated by like a two-star general. He was interviewing these people, and he had to blur their faces, and they were all saying, like, if you release these videos, I'm going to fucking jail. Like, I'll disappear if people see these videos. And there was a woman spy watching him, and there was a Cuban. It was fucked up, man. Cubans, will make these people disappear, and. But some people are willing to talk, other people won't. But you got to watch that video. It just released, I mean, like a week ago. And it's eye-opening. Like, these people can't speak out against the government or you will fucking disappear. And, like, during the Cuban boat crisis, like when he released a bunch of people out of insane asylums and jails and just political opposition, he sent them on boats to go to America in the 1980s and shit. And, we a lot of them we granted amnesty, but if they were like convicted murderers, we sent them back to Cuba and he killed them. Like he murdered all of those people because that eventually they got sent back. And so I mean, Castro is a murderer, bro. I mean, he'll make you disappear. He'll send you to a prison with no fucking air conditioning and stuff, and in the heat of Cuba, and he'll kill you. He's a crook, bro. So it's really fucked up. But the literacy rate is about 98%, which who the fuck cares when you don't have any money or food? You know, it's fucked up.
Oh yeah, and it's been like this, I think, for quite a long
about
time.
80 years. And what's sad is that they have a lot. It was a very prosperous country before. It had a lot of sugar cane and stuff, and they were known of making rum and obviously Cuban cigars and stuff, and it was a destination where people wanted to go. In fact, the mafia, that was what Vegas was supposed to be. They didn't want to set Vegas up in a fucking desert with no water. It was supposed to be Cuba, you know, and it was going to be cool. Like, my grandparents are conservative, religious people, and they say that Vegas was a lot better when the mafia ran it in the 60s and 70s. You know, it was cheaper, it was safer, it was cleaner, more affordable, you know. That was what Cuba was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a vacation destination, and those people were going to be doing well, you know, only 90 miles away from Florida, in a great place. It shouldn't have happened this way. You know what I'm saying? But that's what communism gets you, dude. And then they just steal from these people. That communism is a fucking lie, and they'll even say it on there. Communism is a lie on that Nick Chile video, and because everybody starves except for the people that are in charge. You know,
exactly.
It's a fucking shame, man.
That the regular people are just equally broke.
Yep.
So it's when you tell them that, they're like, no, but it hasn't been done right yet.
Right. Well, you know, I just want to add to what Malin's saying. Communism is for the peoples, but in those communist countries, the leaders are living capitalist lives.
Exactly.
Yep, that's the truth, man.
See, they have pure capitalism is really what America was founded on, and we've gone so far away from that because the separation of church and state and the separation of government or state and economics, now that is where we can really all thrive, because the government 9 out of 10 times makes bad decisions on behalf of we the people. And so if we wanted more freedom, more abundance, more liberty, more prosperity, we wouldn't have an economic state government in the way that we do now that has plunged us into a financial catastrophe. Imagine if instead of 40 trillion down the hole for Medicare, Medicaid, and the military industrial complex, we were all to just issue ourselves checks for $400,000 20 years ago. I'm 100% sure that everybody here would rather have a check for $400,000 20 years ago than right now. Am I right? Am I wrong? Hello?
What is he even talking about?
No, he just, you just gotta let him go.
What am I even talking about? What do you think I even just said? Hello? You don't speak English.
All right, so John, the richest country in the history of civilization, the richest country even currently, is the United States of America. It has the highest GDP. And second place is China, and the difference between the two are trillions, not billions, 10 plus trillions. So it's a testament to how successful the capital is, even with its flaws.
40 trillion in debt? 40 trillion in debt?
But it still has the highest GDP.
The country's bankrupt.
Sam.
And it's the second GDP and the third GDP.
Sam. Go ahead. You want to be childish?
The point that he's trying to make is while we have the highest GDP, the allocation of resources in individuals that contribute to that GDP are otherwise allocated in a way that is disanalogous to the point of meritocracy. I feel like this is a lot of what John is saying that people just want to ignore. So when he asks the follow-up question, I recognize that what he is saying sounds like trolling, but if you actually understood the person behind this troll and his certain level of business acumen, you could understand that this is not most definitely a troll. Like he's asking a very simply pointed economic and financial question.
All right. Could you kindly tell us what his question is?
It's not a question. It's just a statement of information, meaning that separation of state and economics, that's true laissez-faire capitalism. That's what we need. That's the solution. Not more government spending, not more government intervention, not big government. Small government is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. Smaller government, smaller problems. Bigger government, bigger problems. Hello?
All right. Now, when you look at the GDP per person, the U.S. real GDP per capita, if you take all the money in the USA and divide it by its citizens, the GDP per capita of the United States in 2017 is $70,000 per person. That is a very high standard of GDP per capita.
Where when you adjust that to actually the cost of living in major cities in America, if you look at a city like Los Angeles, for example, a household income of two, you would actually, based on that sole income of $70,000, fall below the poverty line in that state. So, I mean, what are we talking about? The man actually is making a very solid point.
There are 50 states. There are 50 states. 70,000, you go to West Virginia, 70,000, you're living like a prince.
Okay, so when you look at the major, when you look at where the majority of our population is anchored, is the majority of our population anchored in West Virginia, or is it anchored in places?
If you can't maintain the cost of living for your standard,
okay, so we just hand back the majority of the land in the United States back to Spain and Mexico? Like, I mean, what are you talking about?
Okay, now here's the
there has to be a scaling effort towards economic affordability.
Oh, so you want to live at the best places of the country and not pay for it?
Who said that?
Well, you're living in L.A., Los Angeles.
Who said that?
Then what are you complaining about? Deliver, make the money. Cover your expenses.
I'm not complaining about the cost of again. I'm not complaining about the cost of living.
You just did.
His point is again people's perception in how we are engaging in capitalism, not taking into consideration the regulation that hinders, right, the fruits and the gains of what capitalism was intended for at the inception of this country is no longer possible due to overregulation. That is what he is saying. John, am I wrong? Is that not what you're saying? Like, I mean, it's crazy.
You lost everybody. You went gobbledygook.
It's crazy to, well, maybe you just simply don't understand.
No, you didn't make your money.
Maybe you just don't understand basic economics.
Dude, I don't live in LA. I live in Jersey. I'm a multimillionaire. I can live in LA. But I choose not to because of the high cost of living. So you need to figure out.
So you're a multimillionaire that lives in New Jersey as a multimillionaire. Which again, if you look at the actual economics behind the numbers in the cost of living between New Jersey and Los Angeles, if you're not able to afford to live in Los Angeles, you're struggling at New Jersey. So I don't care what you want to say. I don't care what you want to say.
I'm using my money wisely.
Listen,
you want to live a sweet LA life. You got your gay community. You want the sun. You want the restaurants. You want the nightlife. Pay for it, dude.
Isn't that the American dream?
Pay for it.
Isn't that the American dream?
Put your money on the table and pay for it.
Isn't that the American dream? So what you're asking for is feudalism.
If you can't afford it.
So what you're asking for is feudalism. And this is why you need to listen to what Kitover is actually saying. What you actually need to listen to. Okay.
But you want me to pay for it.
So what you actually need to listen to is what Kitover is saying, because what you are asking for is a feudalistic society. And the economic aims behind what Kitover is fighting against is moving us away from a feudalistic society into a capitalistic society. So
let me just.
Because again, you simply do not understand economics. You simply do not understand economics.
Go to Iowa, Montana.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone understands economics because everyone knows how to buy low and sell high. It's not a complicated question, but let me just read to you what Ayn Rand wrote in her book, Virtues of Selfishness. She wrote, when I say capitalism, I mean a full, pure, uncontrolled, unregulated, laissez-faire capitalism with a separation of state and economics in the same way and for the same reasons as the separation of state and church. A pure system of capitalism has never yet existed, not even in America. Various degrees of government control had been undercutting and distorting it from the start. Capitalism is not the system of the past. It is the system of the future, if mankind in America is to have a future.
Are you putting Ayn Rand? She's the ultimate capitalist, dude. She wouldn't tolerate any of this nonsense that Doctor's saying. She's the ultimate fiercest capitalist. She doesn't even believe in altruism. I lose them.
I wholeheartedly agree with Ayn Rand.
See, to say that she doesn't even believe in altruism, what she actually does when she says...
She doesn't. She doesn't believe in altruism. She says...
I get it. But Sam, the question is really, what's the best economic model for maximum productivity, maximum abundance, and maximum equity? So when I ask a girl on Hinge to go out on a date with me, and she says, before I go out on a date with me, you have to tell me your politics. If my response is economics and equity, she says, you have to explain more. And then I say, bitch, what more is there than economics and equity? So Sam, what's your problem? Are you not having a good day?
Dude, I posted in the chat, here are the ranks of the top GDPs in the world. United States at 30 trillion. Number 2, China at 19 trillion. Germany 5 trillion. Japan 4 trillion. United States is number 1 at 30 trillion, by 10, 11 trillion more than China. The proof is right there in the numbers. United States, baby, all the way.
I thought the proof was in the pudding.
No, that's different. Uh-oh, now we got the counselor on board. Okay.
I'm on a train. You're lucky I can't talk loud, but why the hell would someone choose Jersey if you have money? Just asking.
It's temporary, Abby. I'm just selling my properties because I'm moving down to South America.
Oh, you're going to get kidnapped down there. Could you imagine unloading everything in America, becoming a passport bro in Colombia, then you end up dead in a closet because you're looking for a wife on Hinge or Bumble? Good luck, Sam!
I'm going to spend the next 10 years traveling South America because there's a lot of investment opportunity there. and good culture.
Get a motor.
Your perception of GDP and the inherent nature of this conversation as it relates to the economic conditions that we're in America and how that translates into individual quality of life. You simply do not understand economics. When you look at the GDP, it's an aggregate. When you look at the GDP, it's an aggregated number. It is an aggregated number. You have people walking around in North America worth $700 billion.
Dude, when you get to the top 0.05 percentile, come talk to me.
When you get there, then let me know. Because you are in New Jersey.
Sam!
You're in New Jersey. You're in New Jersey.
Sam, it's never a flex to come on Clubhouse.
I'm rich too.
Yeah, it's never a flex to come on Clubhouse and say I'm rich and you're not. Ha ha. Like that just that can't possibly make you feel better inside, right?
What do you do? How did you make your money?
I did check you.
How did I make my money?
Yeah, how did you make your money?
There are ways you can make your money. If you put in your time, you become a doctor, a lawyer, you can make 6 figures. But if you put in your extra time, you can learn investment.
If you're making just 6 figures, you're not in the top 0.5% percentile.
Let me finish, then you can.
So this is what I'm talking about. You don't understand economics, and you definitely don't understand, simple basic numbers. And I'm questioning, do you even have?
Wait, Dr. Adams.
I used 7 or 8 figures with your mother last night.
Gentlemen. Let's just ask. Gentlemen, please. Gentlemen. Let's just ask Sam a quick diagnostic question. Sam, what is 600 times 300?
18 and add the 6 zeros.
That's not an answer. You failed the test. Second question. Explain inflation, if you will.
You're ridiculous, man.
Can't do it? Okay, 0 for 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this millionaire's credibility in Jersey has gone to 0%.
Sam, is there any way that we can verify the amount of money that you actually have?
Yeah.
Can I look you up or something?
Yeah, you can look me up. They know me on Clubhouse.
Yeah. What did you do? What do you do for work?
I used to be a physician, but I retired in my 40s.
That's amazing.
Voluntarily?
Yeah.
Voluntarily. You didn't have your medical license pulled?
Yeah. I don't have my medical license pulled. You can go to any medical board. There's nothing on me. No malpractice. What I realized is I did some simple math. I was like, dude, man, I'm seeing these hospital CEOs making $1 million or $2 million. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. And so I made a decision. I'll make 10 years of my physician salary in 1 year, and that's what I started doing.
Where did you go to medical school?
I was an international medical grad.
He's Egyptian.
How do you see the link I posted up top of Yale discriminating against white and Asian applicants?
There is discrimination in medicine. What are you talking about? Like any other field?
Yeah, so how do you feel about that?
I've experienced it myself.
It's Hanson's old school.
Are you a weight passing?
No, he's Arabic.
I've told my story many times on Clubhouse.
So, Sam, I mean, if you go down to South America and you make all the right investments, are you looking to get married and start a family with a beautiful Chiquita banana?
No.
Because,
When you're gonna have kids, fuck you though. Never mind.
You know what? I'll tell you about something. You go on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll help you all. I'm a nomad capitalist. Go on YouTube. There's this guy, Nomad Capitalist. Look him up. And he'll open your eyes to opportunities that I keep talking about in Clubhouse where people are restricting themselves to the United States of America. Once you understand how big this world is, how many you could just look for, there's so many
Well,
opportunities.
Sam, everything's on the internet nowadays. There won't even be any roads in the future. Okay, nomad capitalist. I'm just saying that even if you take your millions that you scammed out of Medicare and you invested in South America for tax evasion, the point is, if you get married and then divorced, you could lose it. You could lose half of it and get set up on alimony and child support and a final consent decree to the divorce settlement. Talk to Abby here. She's a lawyer. Abby, how many men do you know that's lives been turned upside down because of divorce?
Yeah, that's why you get a
Hello?
prenup, John. You call Counselor Abby, you pay her money, and she write you up a good prenup.
How much do those actually work, though? I don't think I've ever heard of anybody
They work.
not having it. Is it the
They
money
work.
they make
Pepe,
while
have you
married?
ever had a girlfriend?
Pepe, they work.
No, it's after the money they make after.
But when you get
leave Pepe alone. Leave
when you
Pepe
get
alone.
when you're married, though, isn't it?
Leave Pepe alone.
Thank you. And so, isn't all the money though that's made like around half of that's made during the marriage?
Pepe, are you a virgin?
Yes.
It's community. You live in a community property state, Pepe. New Jersey really uses equitable distribution. It's a little different of a format, but it's what's earned during the community of the actual marriage. However, prenups do work, and when they don't work and when they're not upheld, it's when there hasn't been proper disclosure. If there's proper disclosure and both sides have independent counsel, they usually are held up.
But anyone can make the claim.
When you get older, when you get money, you get yourself a good doctor, a lawyer, and an accountant. That's what they say.
So doctor, lawyer, and a DAL. Doctor, attorney, lawyer, a DAL.
Yeah, you gotta have those three.
I got it. So.
And then another thing I've been saying this over and over again, guys.
What?
You gotta think out of the box. You gotta
really?
Get out of the States. You gotta go out there. There's so much opportunity, financial opportunity out there.
Yeah, even here on Clubhouse, I think. You know.
And there's nobody like capitalism in the United States. Because when I go to other parts of the country, they're not as capitalistic entrepreneurship as we are.
No way, you're right.
So you can, you know.
Sam, do you know what the word entrepreneur means in French?
No.
Risk taker.
Oh, okay.
Risk taker.
Can you say it in French for us?
Entrepreneur.
That sounds like we me. Go out there, guys. There's. I'm out there. I'm seeing other Americans, and we're talking with each other when we're out there.
What do you mean? Other Americans? You're Egyptian.
No, I'm American. I was born in Jersey.
Sam, what do you think about Bukele's El Salvador?
Oh, because I'm not West Coast like you. You're such a West Coast liberal.
Have you seen your property taxes?
He is supporting Karen Bass in Los Angeles. I mean, oy vey. Dr. Adams, come on.
Amazing job.
We have to get you on the Spencer Pratt train. What's it going to take?
Advertisements are incredible.
Yes.
I'd rather pull my toenails off one by
Oh no. What if he gave you a check? What would be your number to get you on the Spencer Pratt train, Dr. Adams, and ditch Karen Bass?
There wouldn't be a number.
There has to be a number. Tell us your number.
Nope.
Woo! We got an ideologue here. He's supporting a communist female traitor. Karen Bass is the epitome of evil. And Dr. Adams thinks that her job record is really her credentials and bona fide. She's a fucking communist agitator and organizer. How can you support this woman? She's a hardcore Soviet communist type. She's evil. The woman is evil.
Politics. Let me ask you this: if you're an expert on California politics, which
it's definitely a smaller market than Illinois, why haven't you won a seat yet?
I'm fighting right now to be the mayor of Chicago. I'm trying to liberate my hometown, and I used to live in Los Angeles. I used to live in Century City in Beverly Hills, and I'll be back. I will come back to LA and clean up Karen fat ass Bass's mess.
Me on my political decisions in a place that you don't even live in.
You used to live there, and I'm coming back. I'm going to clean up the communist Los Angeles mess that Karen Bass has had. The homeless crisis alone, that scam.
Yeah, but you don't live in Los Angeles.
Have you been on Skid Row? Every American is ashamed of Skid Row. We need to clean it up. Get them all out of there. Put them in a prison.
Thank you, Pepe. Like Skid Row's nothing new. Yes, has it gotten bigger? Absolutely. Have they put a couple of tents and an open bar out there? 100%. But all of these problems have existed
You admit that Karen Bass has opened a bar for Skid Row? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm trying to understand, just because Spencer Pratt is saying things that you like, is there a pathway towards productivity that he's going to deliver?
100% he can deliver. This is the thing that so baffles the mind is liberals on this app, intellectual, liberal, elite Democrats. They say Trump didn't do what he promised to do the first time. It's the same type of nonsense.
This lacks critical thinking.
Really?
Because I can vote for Donald Trump in what makes sense for me on a national stage.
Oh.
And more locally.
You're thinking local. You like Marshall Rankin. I see.
Locals in my own backyard.
What happened there? You got too close to the mic.
I can make a critical thinking decision as to who is the best.
Yeah, critically thinking. Creatively thinking.
Right? So somebody complaining about the woes of Democrats and my house burned down, that is not going to give me confidence that this person is going to advocate for my best interests.
So Spencer Pratt isn't going to advocate for gay, bisexual,
okay, so you're easily taken. That's what I'm hearing.
Biracial, queer, liberal, elite, intellectual Democrats.
Somebody's going to say
somebody's giving you the left eyes.
Look at policy. Got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Adams, a man supporting Karen Bass over Spencer Pratt. How could he do this to us? Such a betrayal of who we thought you were.
Who's us?
Shameful.
Who is us?
He wants the handouts.
Shameful.
Who is us?
It's true. He probably wants to get something.
Who is us?
Yeah, I understand. You want the money. I get it. But that's what I'm saying. That's why we wanted to know how much would it cost for Spencer Pratt to cut you a check. The consensus. The people.
All this house is going to bring your rent down and your wages up.
The rent's already going down.
Okay.
So I mean that's definitely my wheelhouse. I don't know anybody else that's spent over a decade through many different REITs, publicly traded REITs, in looking at the numbers and auditing files. So I mean at the end of the day, the rent's already going down, and the election is still going on. So I mean, what are we talking
Come
about?
on, the rent isn't going down. What are you talking
When was the
about?
last time that you guys actually
Rents
shopped
don't
around
go
for
down; they
rents?
only go up, sir.
In Los Angeles. So Sam, you live in, who's complaining?
You were
Who's complaining? I just got pre-approved for $1.2 million. What am I complaining about?
All right, there you go.
Okay, so what am I complaining about? What am I complaining about? I can go to Santa Clarita and get 3,000 square feet tomorrow. So what are we complaining about?
Everybody, and you want more.
What are we complaining about?
You want the
You don't live here.
handouts
Sam, you don't live here. And again, you're struggling with your life against the gays. You don't want to live anywhere that you would struggle. You live in New Jersey and you're struggling. That's why you're going to Central America. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I am going to.
What are you talking about? So again, I want to hear the opinions of somebody who has stamina to be able to compete and be able to keep up in a U.S. market without fleeing to a third world country just because they can't make it here. No, you don't get it. That's why you're fleeing.
No, I got.
That's why you're fleeing.
I understand.
That's why you're fleeing. You're a physician.
I'm not fleeing.
You could go set up a private pay facility tomorrow and be able to compete with the rising cost of living. Again, no, I don't understand weakness. That's what I don't understand.
No, you don't.
I don't understand weakness. You're right. I don't understand weakness.
You stay
where you're at. Right. I will stay where I'm at. Thank you.
Right there with Karen Bass
How
at
are
the
your
bar.
taxes, Dr. Adams?
Who cares? Karen Bass has got a bar on Skid Row.
But I also make more money than other people in my same profession in other parts of the country. That's just what it is.
Well, why are they fleeing over the border into Nevada like every month?
Yeah, they're coming into Arizona. We're really sick of the Californians coming here.
Same thing. Pepe has the same thing. And we have no tax.
They're just Americans fleeing despotism,
I can't
seeking liberty, seeking freedom,
somebody is leaving a place because they have
seeking joy,
in that place. I can't speak for them. I know what it is.
seeking property tax relief.
Well, but there's plenty. I don't know, Abby. I feel like there's plenty of places where people that otherwise
on mansion tax.
What do you mean a mansion tax? That's in the city limits of Los Angeles. I'm not buying a home in the city limits of Los Angeles.
I said, so if you live in the city limits of Los Angeles, you have to pay a tax on the value of your house. additionally to your property taxes.
Have you seen the traffic in the city of Los Angeles? Who's living in those homes? A lot of those homes are
Seattle,
rented.
the same thing, correct? Seattle, the same thing.
Same thing about what? What
Mansion
city are you
tax.
speaking to?
Mansion tax.
Okay, so I mean, do
So
people
the
that hold the most wealth in Seattle, do they live in Seattle or do they live
Well,
elsewhere?
they're moving to Nevada, a lot of them, and probably to Arizona too. They're getting help because of the tax. That's what's happening with the Californians.
So
as well.
Mercer Island and Medina, Washington, those were not always enclaves for people that held the most wealth in those areas to otherwise move to get out of the city.
I'm just telling you that we've gotten bombarded with people trying to buy homes out of that state now. Same with California. I'm not making it up. You can look at the.
And I hear where you're coming from. And there's plenty of real estate agents in Chatsworth and, in Castaic and in Valencia that will say that they've been inundated from people from Texas and from people from Arizona and people from Nevada. I mean, it's one of those things that goes both ways.
We're not domiciled. I'm the guy like me, but they are having their trials.
Can't hear you, Abby. You're in the Matrix. I just want to let everybody know that
Okay, so that wasn't me. I thought it was a wind.
Spencer Pratt just said, I just want to feel safe again. Is it so wrong for Americans just to want to feel safe again, not to feel the victim of an ankle monitor and a no cash bail system and sucker punches in the streets 50 times, get released, back on the street again, committing another crime?
Spencer Pratt's reality. Go look at the crime rates in the Palisades.
I don't have a problem with the bail reform, because all bail is meant to do is to make sure that you come back to court and you're not allowed to commit crimes while you're out on pre-release. The problem is, though, is that the bail reform ended up being all about allowing people to just go in and out, in and out, in and out. And so then you have repeat offenders. That's the part that I think is absolute bullshit.
Yep. And they go out and they kill again. The guy that lit the girl on the train on fire here in Chicago, burned her to death, almost to death, severely burned the rest of her life, destroyed her body. Back out on the street. Guy killed a cop in the hospital. Back out on the street. Guy knifed a woman on the train. Back out on the street.
Los Angeles?
Chicago.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about Nancy Guthrie. How's Nancy Guthrie doing? Pepe, you want to talk about Nancy Guthrie?
That's not a random act of violence. That was
we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And again, the mayor of the city where Nancy Guthrie.
What do you mean we don't know? If you're gonna hold somebody for ransom, you're gonna pick the target.
For ransom, we don't know that she's being held for ransom. We know that a bunch of internet trolls heard the media story and the attention that it's getting, and they made some comments, just like you made comments on the internet. I mean,
I would say Arizona's kind of different. Like, to be a victim of a crime generally, it's generally criminals that are committing crimes against each other. I mean, yes, some people have their homes broken into or their cars stolen. There's that kind of shit will happen anywhere. We're a state that's always kind of had to deal with the car theft problem because you have the drug cartels and everything in Mexico.
Well, where do you have old ladies?
Hold on, dude.
In Los Angeles.
Hold on. You have, the drug cartels, particularly trucks, four-wheel trucks. And so, yes, they constantly steal them from here in the state. It's not necessarily a homegrown problem, though. And you say, well, why don't they do it in California? I don't know why they would or wouldn't do it. But we have a pretty long border with Mexico, and it's a lot easier to get into Mexico than to come in.
We have a whole entire coast. Like, what are you talking about? We have a whole entire coast, Pepe. Laguna Beach, there's people in rafts that literally wash up on shore behind people's homes. Like, what are we talking about?
You don't put a truck on a raft.
I mean, you could, depending on the capabilities of the raft. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, these coyotes, you can only speak to this because you are Mexican. I mean, we know how much Mexico spends on sending people and product over the border. So we don't know what type of capabilities they have there.
Mexico does what?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to that. You're Mexican, so I'm not.
I'm not Mexican. I'll just troll people and say I'm Mexican. Because everybody called me Mexican for years on here, but no, we.
Credit of half the rules. Mexico is.
Who the fuck is this?
It's Peter.
You know who Peter is? Like, who the fuck is this? Like,
Can we get a mod badge for Peter? Can we get a mod badge for Peter, please? Can you mod Peter, please?
English proficiency. Do you know, young man?
You don't have medal. I have medal.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind everyone here right now that Dr. Adams here, a supposed conservative Republican, is supporting Karen Bass.
He's talking about the medal. He just got the Congressman medal on his profile. He said, "You don't have medal. I have medal."
What I'm trying to tell you guys is that Dr. Adams is supporting Karen Bass, and we all have to take a step back and breathe and try to think rationally and creatively and know that Karen Bass is the problem. You got it. She doesn't separate state and economics. She is a communist. She's going to borrow and spend. LA is set up great. Every taxpayer only owes $1,500 in LA. In Chicago, we owe $50,000 to our local government. $50,000. Our city is totally debt ridden. It's completely bankrupt. Los Angeles is in a great financial position. Do not let Karen Bass destroy your city. You have to fight Karen Bass with all of your will, all of your power, all of your strength. Karen Bass must be destroyed.
Okay, no, I hope she's reelected for the Black National Anthem.
Dude, it sounds like you're looking out for yourself. It sounds like you're looking out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want that cost of living improved. You want a racial identity too. I mean, what's wrong with you? That's not. This is selfish.
You're going to South America.
Yeah, because I'm gonna go make a shitload of money down there.
Right, and you're not going to be paying the
There's a lot of homes down there too. I mean, fuck.
You're not going to be paying American taxes, are you?
I'm not gonna be paying state. I'll be paying
You know
federal.
how much cheaper there you go. Do you know how many more women there are and how cheap they are to date in Latin America?
So, Pepe, let me ask you a question. You're in a place where, you know, and I'm not even being a hater, and I'm not also trying to sound weird. You're a very attractive person. So, why is it, and you know what? I'm going to give a 2-for-1. So are you, Beaver. So are you. Okay? So, I'm trying to understand, if you're not having any luck in the United States, what makes you think that you're going to go to a plighted country and experience some type of luck there?
Oh, I didn't say.
Because Iran has its own.
I'm just saying though, if you want it, that is. Let's not kid ourselves. That's why the whole passport bros thing is real. Is because there's a lot of women that. Let's just face it. They look at American men as meal tickets, and the cost of living is cheaper, and so.
But that's not true anymore.
That is your goal. Is to find
Pepe, listen.
It's going to be easier.
But listen to the men like Sam, okay? And Sam is a physician. So if Sam is struggling, okay, as a physician, then retire. Okay, so if Sam is struggling as a quitter and a physician, why then do you think that you're going to attain a better level of success going to another country?
Have you heard of a foreign exclusion tax of $150,000? Do you know that if you go overseas and you make $150,000, you can get that excluded as taxes?
Well, you can live in Puerto Rico and pay no income tax in Puerto Rico.
That's true. If you're a trader. That's right. You don't have to pay even capital gains.
Do you know that you can get the date rape drug over the counter in Mexico?
Oh boy, here we go. See, Dr. Adams, you know.
John,
oh, El Normo's here.
Pepe said that. Pepe said that. Pepe, nice try, Pepe.
For me?
I know you're Mexican. Rohypnol's actually really cheap drug too.
Rohypnol, isn't that Quaaludes? No, that's roofies.
So as we can tell, Pepe is gifted with love language, and love bombing and love poetry. Pepe, what's your
My love language is Rohypnol, chlorophyll, that kind of stuff.
Pepe, what's your go-to pickup line in the bar if you were to approach a woman at the bar?
It's have a sip.
Is that your drink?
Pepe Cosby. Pepe, have you thought of taking your fame on social media and maybe turning that into a Jello endorsement?
A what endorsement?
A Jello endorsement.
Well, Dr. Adams, are you going to take your fame and support Karen Bass publicly? Are you publicly supporting Karen Bass?
Yes, absolutely.
Let me look at your Instagram to confirm. Please hold.
I don't think you can see my Instagram. You're blocked.
Oh, you can block 100 accounts?
You're blocked.
Well, you're not a traitor if you move to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is the United States.
No, I'm sorry. When you move to Puerto Rico and you identify, you register as a professional trader, meaning stocks and trading.
Oh, a trader.
Yeah, that. Not a traitor. A trader.
Yeah. You can be a doctor.
You know that.
No, you get tax exemptions. You don't even have to pay on some of the capital gains.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh no, I went to
because my friends just moved there.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's right. There are people doing that.
My New Yorker friends who are in real estate.
Yeah, those are nomad capitalists. They're seeking opportunities around where they can get the best ROI on their money, on themselves, on what they're doing.
Well, first of all, he left L.A. There's two brothers. One of them left L.A. that had a beautiful place above Bel Air, whatever you call that hill above Bel Air, Dr. Adams, above the Bel Air Hotel, right up that street, whatever that is, I forget the name of it. Beautiful mansion, they sold it. Then his brother bought it like a chateau in the Cotswolds in England during the pandemic. But then when the Labour government came in England, they just spiked up the taxes. They wanted to charge him more taxes than he was making in income.
Well, the Labour Party is a Democrat party in the United States. That's a party doctors promoted.
To the left even of that. Although our Democratic Party is lurching to the left on its own.
Lurching? They're already far hard left. They want to spend trillions of dollars on Green New Deals, which is just spending scams. They're not letting that go. AOC and the Green Movement and these climatologists.
Back the Green scam?
100% they do. AOC's positioning herself to run for president. She was just at University of Chicago. She's in the media nonstop creating propaganda pieces of her giggling and smiling like she's going to be our new mother and savior of America. She is one of the most dangerous people alive today.
And one of the prettiest.
Well, that's part of the danger.
But she kind of looks like a camel. She kind of looks like a camel. She's hot. Come on. She's a hot, beautiful Latina. Come on.
Well, she's a hardcore fraud. She's a hardcore liar. She doesn't tell the truth. She doesn't talk about the truth. She just creates lies and propaganda. She is literally one of the most dangerous, sexy femme fatales that this country's ever created.
She knows how to market herself really well, isn't she?
It's a bunch of baloney out of her mouth. There's no question about that.
But she knows how to. Politics is a popularity contest. It's how well you market yourself.
So what are you guys talking about? AOC, Alexandria, Ocasio.
We're talking about you, Pepe.
You're meant to
she's cute. Pepe. She's cute. The thing is, she's not. I mean, she's conventionally attractive, but it's the fact that she's a congresswoman, which is kind of there's not many that are good looking. So.
Right. It's not like Hollywood, right? What they say, Washington is Hollywood for ugly people.
Yeah, in Hollywood, she would not stand out.
Right. But she's a very pretty human being.
And she's cute, but it's just her. I don't know what it is. It's like her nostrils. It's something about them. I just.
Now you're just
hard to get over.
You're picking nostrils.
She does. She has like she's black or something. I'm not seeing.
Speaking of the blackness of a black, where's A-Check?
What?
A-Check. Where is?
Said he was in
treatment, I guess, for his leg.
There you go. You know, tell him to come back. You know, we forgive him.
You know, you got Joe. You got Joe Hero down there, and Joe Hero was saying that we have so much land in this country.
That topic is probably outside of his domain.
What topic?
Black Americans.
Well, you know, he wanted to speak so very candidly on that. You know, it's kind of like George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree. You know, that lake.
Oh, no.
So, you know, the other day you guys had this reparations room, and I'm reading this, you know, Ayn Rand book about the virtue of selfishness. Beaver and Pepe and Cool and Joe and
That's the part of altruism. Correct.
So-
He's against it.
I know.
I'm different from a lot of the. It's where I'm different from a lot of conservatives. I'm not like completely against like social safety nets and all of that shit, which like they are. But
Okay, but the point is the separation of state and economics.
Social Medicare, Social Security.
What the fuck is he talking about?
He's talking about EBT, Social Security, Medicare.
I want to hear his specific version
yeah,
of
like
what
in
that
other
looks
words, like I don't like seeing people go without health care or like not have food and that kind of shit. You know?
Okay, so the problem with you don't
That's just me personally.
see the No Kings protesters put graffiti up that says Medicare, Medicaid is a human right. Now, profit making at insurance corporations and big pharmaceutical corporations is not a human right. These corporations could not make the quarterly revenue growth and profits that they do without taxpayer dollars through Medicare and Medicaid. And it's a budget. So how are we giving corporations quarterly budgets to make profits? That's not pay as you go on demand. That's not efficiency. That's bureaucracy and just quarterly spend. That has to change. We can't keep operating this way. Country's $40 trillion in debt. We take in we spend $7 trillion, we take in $5 trillion. Instead of buying low, selling high, we're buying high, selling low. We're fucking ourselves.
Well, look at states like California. They tax so much, but where the fuck does the money go? It's just rampant fraud and abuse.
Into the pockets of the corrupt politicians. That's where it goes.
I mean, seriously, that has to be. I don't know how easily it is, how easily it can be gotten rid of, but it is way over the top. Like it, and as far as all of the people skimming, you know, all of the fraudsters out there in different communities, like I don't know. I mean, you almost have to just start throwing a lot of people in prison. I mean, it's at the end of the day, people are never going to be able to have, you know, to get the help with health care or anything like that if we have to constantly, if the funds are constantly siphoned off by a bunch of scam artists.
Dude, do you know how much it costs per prisoner? It's $40,000 to $50,000 per taxpayer per prisoner. Guards, food. It's expensive too. It's not cheap. It's not a third world prison where you fit 20 people in a room and feed them like soup, a bowl of soup and a piece of bread.
Those prisons are either the best or the worst to be in, depending on how much money you have.
Well, we need capital punishment, and we got to clear the books. That means anybody on death row in this country should face immediate firing squad to cut down on the spend. That's ruthless capitalism. That's laissez-faire capitalism. Because if we don't believe in paying down the debt, and we only believe in expanding the debt, we are a society of low virtue, low value criminals. And all I can say is Hillary Clinton should be in prison. Bill Clinton should be in prison.
The Looney Bins need to be opened back up, and you will be sent.
There's a lot of other criminals that should be in prison, like Mayor Brandon Johnson, Lori Lightfoot, even Rahm Emanuel, all criminals, all traitors. They sold us out. They sold our streets. You can't park in the city of Chicago without $20.
The Republicans fucking sold us out too. Like, you don't think that
sold you out? Who do you think fought the Democrats in the Civil War and died by the hundreds of thousands? Republicans. The Republicans destroyed the Democrats in the Civil War, fought them to the death. That was the real divide and separation of this country, the Republicans and the Democrats in the Civil War.
They were for a while. The Republicans were like the party of big business and free markets, and they really. The Democrats were far more protectionist when it comes to the I guess you'd say the average American worker. That has changed quite a bit. Now they're kind of. Now the Democrats for the last.
Who owned the slaves? The Democrats.
Shut the fuck up.
Who founded the KKK? The Democrats. Who enforced Jim Crow segregation laws? The Democrats. The Indian Removal Act? Democrats. Trail of Tears? Democrats. Japanese internment? Democrats.
Okay, in that case, gotta going back down to the loony bin. Holy shit. I mean, the Democrats had turned into they were the more or less the party of the American work, kind of looking out for the everyday guy or worker. And then they switched to being basically they served urban elitists and minorities, and they basically said fuck the average American worker, and that's been their messaging.
They will never be able to deliver. And when they make these false promises, and they will, and they're going to be, feel good party, feel your pain, they're going to do that, and they're going to get in, and they're just going to mess things up. You need to give things out. You got to get it from somewhere. You can't give something of value without taking a value from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, I'm gonna let him back up from the loony bin. See if he's medicated.
Okay, I just had an apple, so I'm feeling hydrated and fully medicated. I just wanted to say the Democrats are responsible for slavery, defending slavery, funding and founding the KKK, perpetrating lynchings, enforcing segregation, creating Jim Crow laws, filibustering civil rights legislation, opposing the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the Indian Removal Act, the Trail of Tears, and Japanese internment, all brought to you by the Democrat, racist, Nazi Democrat, abortion-murdering party from hell, known as Clown World Democrats with their purple wigs. Every time a Democrat always annoys you, they always look like the clown emoji. Every single time. How is that possible? That every single time you see a Democrat like Maxine Waters, say, shut that man up. Shut that man up. Shut it up. Well, they always look like a clown. Every single time. Hello?
I have no idea what you said.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that we've got a big problem in this country because every $1 trillion that we borrow and spend is one more trillion towards complete and total Marxism. And that means the unification of the banking industrial complex with the government.
Of the Democrats you think are actually Marxist?
100%. They can't even explain to you what inflation is. They can't explain to you what inflation. It's affordability. We got an affordability crisis here. It's because of the inflation. It's because of the borrowing. It's because of the spending. Hello?
I mean, you don't think that if California was different, somebody like Gavin Newsom would be singing a completely different tune?
There you go. The ultimate another one of those opportunists.
He's perhaps one of the savvier ones, and he's a handsome, charming guy.
Not savvy.
He's not afraid to debate and talk to people. Like he actually walked into the Republican National Committee's convention, and while Sean Hannity was on air, just walked up to him. And that dude. How many people would do that from either side?
Yeah, he's gonna sell that feel good. He's handsome. He just knows how to talk like a car salesman type of thing. Referred to as.
Yeah, it's not a reason to vote for him. In fact, it kind of shows that he's a snake. But
he's a snake.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that they all seem to act a similar way. When you look at Gavin and Kamala and Hillary and Bill and Obama, you'd think they went to the same training molding program. They're cut from the same cloth.
Well, they're expert at communication, and they take all the right photos, say all the right words, they position themselves and reframe Donald Trump in every single sentence. Our politicians in Chicago create puff pieces, 15 to 30-second reels, every single day, essentially talking about Donald Trump. They have Trump derangement syndrome to the max, and they know it works. Because by talking about nothing, which is just talking about Donald Trump all the time, and never about your property taxes, never about your state income tax or your federal income tax, no real issue that impacts you, and just talking about Donald Trump, that alone is an effective communication strategy, and they've proven it statistically that it works. So that's the challenge of the Republicans, to try to overcome that hurdle. The best way to do that is by buying advertisements on Google and on YouTube, attacking the liberal intellectual elites for hypocrisy and fraud and stupidity and R-word and lack of intelligence. It's the best way to fight them, but they're not really doing that. And a lot of the billionaires have just left and gone to Florida, and they're never coming back. So the Democrat blue states are just going to become hardcore, indebted, insolvent, unserviceable, communist-run Democrat shitholes. Hello?
Hello?
J-Lo, what are you up to in your neck of the woods?
You don't really care, so don't ask.
Why are you being rude?
Because you're rude.
I asked you how you were doing today, and then you...
No, that's not what you said.
I said, what are you up to in your neck of the woods? That's like, what are you doing today? How are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Did you
know when you know, but
very hostile, very hot. You're very hostile, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's it.
Love is in the air.
See, what's interesting is... Yeah, that's interesting. Oh my goodness.
Hey, what? Who's this?
That came out. Slat, where did you come from?
He comes from Slatistan.
That was some real ghetto gutter talk right there. That was interesting. Couldn't quite identify the race based on the intonations, but what's interesting is that a lot of times when Pepe hosts a room, it's really, I call it Pepe's emotional processing zone, meaning that for hours Pepe will sit there and fight with his emotions, and eventually you realize it's just a Pepe show, but really it's the same thing that's going on in the politically correct room, which is Ban, aka Goat. Pepe and Goat are technically like the same people. They do the same show. And I just want to salute all the Pepes and all the bands in the world, because without them, it would be really boring. We need these people who can't shut up and just want to talk all the time and really bring no real value and just complain at the layaway section and, waste all their time. Well, John Kitover...
Steve and his show.
Same thing. Steve is a screamer. You guys are the Al Pacinos of Clubhouse. Not today, Mr. Judge, because I'm gonna get there. It's just the screaming show. And it creates an emotional response in the central nervous system of the listeners. It's purely neurolinguistic. And the problem is the Democrats will sit on their couch and on their recliner, and then they'll say, hello? Hello? It's just, see, the problem really is censorship. If we had a way to allow people at real time to say yes, 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 let that person speak, we would eventually, you wouldn't hear about Pepe anymore. You wouldn't even hear from Ben. They'd be so low in the totem pole, no one would vote for them, because there is a force which is like a part of the equation, which is the unseen component of what people want to listen to, which is truly the truth or intelligence. People that can accurately describe the crisis and the lack of intelligence. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, dude, you see, the difference between you and I is that people let me speak, and then, of course, I would make rooms that people would actually go to. You have rooms that nobody goes to, because nobody will allow you on stage long enough to speak. So, given the opportunity, I don't know. I'd say you're a little chatty Cathy yourself. Hey, Soren, what's up, bud? Do you have anything? Do you have anything to say about the genocidal apartheid state of Israel today and their war on the brown children in Palestine? Where'd he go? God damn it! I wanted to hear what he had to say.
I'm sure you do.
He'll spur out. I mean, he's funny. No, listen. I can't do his voice even. I'm not gonna try. I don't know. I saw on the internet today, I don't know how true it is, that apparently they're going to resume some that military operation in Iran. I don't know what that's going to entail, but it's going to start this week.
Okay, folks. Any more speakers? Anybody? Somebody? Please?
Well, I invited Soren up here, and then he left. I tried to make it entertaining.
Mullah Houston.
What do you call it? So, okay, so somebody's talking. What do you call slut? What do you call it? Do you know what a slut is?
Yes, a slut.
What is a slut in Farsi?
A slut is a place, right? For example,
what?
With U or with O. A slut with U or O.
With a U?
O. Means whore.
Yeah.
Gender.
Gender?
Yes, gender.
So if I call a person girl a gender, she'll say what?
Exactly. What?
Okay, cool. Thank you. I have that. I'll make mental note of it.
Thank you.
I do know a coworker told me that like on or and is shit. It's like the only other fucking word.
And shit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Scheiße. In general.
Pepe, what happened to you and Mom?
I have been, I used to make rooms and, I was like, you had like like back when they had like a lot of those bigger creators on the app, they would always want me on their stages and shit. So like I was always like in black circles, I guess you could say, on Clubhouse, but like most of them left, and I just kind of don't really talk about the same shit as a lot of that side of Clubhouse. So she kind of hangs out more over there, and so we're never like really in the same rooms as each other. So
in short, she went back to fucking black men.
Oh no, she's
exactly where we knew she would end up.
No,
she went back to the boneyard. That train is never late.
No, she texted me last night. We're still buddies.
Besties?
I mean, what is it? What is the? I don't know what Wack does in his rooms because I never really go in there. But then you have the other ones, like the fuck is Look, Bella. I mean, she makes bigger rooms now, which is interesting. But what do they do besides talk about gossip? You know, or like they gossip about each other's like personal lives, and somebody spills the tea on somebody that basically they ended up linking up in real life, or they hooked up or had a relationship, and then.
Are you talking about politically correct?
They hear all of each other's dirty laundry. It's like kind of like the same shit.
No, it's one-upping. They have straight black men who are conservative Christians come in that dunk on Ban and basically cause him to have crash outs. That's the whole show. The whole show is Ban. Without show, First Lady and Patty, there would be no show. It would be so boring.
We're talking about the dark side of the app, not politically correct. I don't even consider the dark side. I mean, it may have mostly black people. But
the trenches is just.
The dark side is more similar to the trenches.
Yes. Listen, you could, if you were creative and I sold a website called blackpeoplepodcast.com because recording trench conversations on Clown House is shocking. And it's actually like Cray, Cray, his bang rooms. To me, those are some of the most like insane content I've ever heard, just audio in terms of like audio. There's no video.
For sure.
Well, anyways, it's such a waste of time and pathetic, but this is in a way how you actually make value and make money by providing alternative content that is so shocking that it's basically like jerky. It's like Jerky Boys, or prank calls. But anyways, there's nothing quite like it. And it's really because it's a conference call and because you have all these nodes inputting into a network. And so the output is, rather remarkable. But if you suffer from brain rot, like Dr. Peepee here and Dr. Adams and other people on this app people are sending me money. See, look, capitalism in action. This is the separation of state and economics, which is true laissez-faire capitalism. And I'm being rewarded for my values. Oh my God, more money! My value is increasing because of my value. Rabono Shalom. Rabono Shalom. Rabono Shalom. Rabono Shalom. Oh my God, even more money! Woo! 40 cents in the bag. I could maybe tip at the bar. You ever tip too much and then you didn't really get the thank you that you thought you were going to get, and you're like, I kind of gave you extra there. Yeah.
You're losing your
thanks, Jane, for all the money. Love the money, honey.
I mean, he says that when people like me speak, it's low IQ, but I mean, this is cute. Actually, like really fascinating. It's really.
But he's more productive than you are.
Oh, how so?
Oh yeah, explain that one.
Well, right now you're live on my podcast. I've got 20 phones pointing at my face. That's value creation. You guys are just on the plantation. I'm in the house with my cell phone pointed out the windows, recording you all on your plantation. See you at the country club. Call the caddy and tell him to bring my golf bag around back.
How are you going to increase your karma score, John?
Rabono Shalom. I'm reading Ayn Rand live here on Clown House. The virtue of selfishness. I'm also playing a harmonica.
Did you do a talent show when you were in school, John?
Yes, actually, I played Franklin Delano Roosevelt in Annie in the 8th grade play. I was FDR in the 8th grade. Tomorrow, I'll love ya. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll love ya tomorrow. You're only a day away.
Do you have any?
Very nice.
When did you become crazy though? Was it high school, college?
It was embryonic stage.
Well, you wouldn't have been admitted to the military, I guess. It's crazy before.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was an officer, so he would have gone in. I don't know that how people troll about him being mentally ill, which I mean, it's definitely, I question that, but if he was an officer, he would have gone in around like what, 22 or 23, and then at that, various mental illnesses have already set in. So,
An officer where in the Boy Scouts?
no, in the Army.
No way.
Yes. No.
No way. No way he reached officer.
Decorated. Service.
Yeah, he went to the Citadel.
Are you kidding me? He reached officer rank?
John, what's your pedigree? Everyone doesn't know. I tried. I don't think he went to a war.
I'm sorry, I was refreshing my beverage. Was there a question?
There was an inquiry about your military service history.
Oh, I understand. Well, I'm a graduate of one of the most prestigious Southern military schools ever created and conceived in America, the Citadel, where they originally kept the slaves at bay and made them work. And the military at my college enforced the laws of the slaves. And so, after I graduated from Army and ROTC, I was commissioned as an intelligence officer. But then, upon going into the military, I quickly discovered there was no intelligence. So, I decided to form my own counterintelligence army unit, a top secret CIA program known as Clown House. And here I am, ladies and gentlemen, unveiling myself to you, a CIA spy, here on Clown House, a counterintelligence army officer fighting to liberate America from the traitors, the treasonous Democrats, the former slave masters, and rebellious Civil War.
Do you remember like a few years ago when there was like several rooms going on about me that they all thought I was like a CIA asset or some stupid shit? Like I'd be wasting my fucking time.
We still think that you are.
Oh,
What the fuck are we talking about? Like we all still think that you are.
What would I be? What useful information would I be collecting on this fucking app as working for the CIA? Because it's asinine.
I don't know. You guys did a lot just to deplatform Roger. You know? So it's like what?
Everybody that's just coming on here for entertainment. Why would they be doing that much?
He deplatformed himself. He deplatformed himself. All I did was put his picture in my PTR. I didn't say
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen, Pepe, when you did that. It's perfect.
That asshole came on here with his real name, real picture.
It's a feeder. Yeah, we all knew his name. It's true. Sorry to interrupt you, Pepe. Go ahead.
No, it's all right.
What's up, Jane?
I have not done any.
Hello, Jane.
Well, I like the drama, and I have to compliment him.
The Karen Bass protest.
Oh, no.
To support Karen Bass.
I stay in New York. I try not to.
Oh.
I just want to say that Roger Mayhem was the best campaign fundraiser Congressman Kitover ever had. Roger Mayhem raised us $600, Rabono Shalom, and we enjoyed every penny of it.
Oh, wow, where did he go?
I didn't do it.
Oh, he's out of the
I
completely.
didn't do it. Oh, he's down in the middle.
Oh, okay. We don't want to lose our agent, you know.
Did Roger just quit?
Was it really?
Yeah, he quit. I didn't know he didn't lose his account. He ended up.
There's more to it.
He was bullied. He was bullied off of this app.
Pepe just did a PPR and then the dude.
No, he was definitely bullied.
How so?
Because they call them a fat guy. So what? They get called fat all the time. It's not really a reason.
Well, I mean, what was really funny is he was body shaming so many fucking people, including women. When
so do you.
Amazing. So I don't go out of my way. No,
yes, you do, Pepe.
No, I don't.
Pepe, listen, Pepe.
When? Where?
Adams, you do too.
Pepe, no,
you do it more than me. I never did.
But I own
what the fuck are you talking about?
I own it. I'm building a brand.
I rarely talk about.
I'm building a brand. I'm getting big back water bottles. Okay, I'm getting my big back T-shirts made. You guys don't understand how much
water bottles.
Okay, is actually going to take over.
Big bag.
Big bag. Big bag. It's gorgeous.
All right.
Adams. You're just mad at Sam.
Adams, go on mute. You interrupted me when I was speaking. Jesus Christ. No, but he was purposely being pretty harsh on a bunch of women, fat shaming him, all of this stuff. Just commenting on people's looks, period. And I was like, wait a minute. I remember that fucking podcast he did with Lunatic Libertarian. Oh, shit. So I went and it was a few years ago I saw it. And I took a screenshot and I didn't even say a word. I just went on a stage with this fucking photo, and then he left. And he's like, I need to focus on other things and brand, protect my brand or whatever the fuck that is. And it's just okay, dude. I mean, whatever. I mean, and he was a fucking asshole. He acted like he never had anything intelligent to say, but would act but he was really quick to call other people stupid or to say that or point out how they could I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's almost like he used this as an opportunity not to actually talk, but it's like he just liked being the fucking moderator or having the people come into his room. It was weird.
That dude was mean. Like him and Kelly, everyone always praised them. I was always just so confused by that because they were such assholes. They were just so mean and vile with people.
I mean, to be fair, I think Kelly had health stuff going on and. She was. I would just put her as irritable. She didn't seem you never really heard her say mean things. She would just because you never heard her really insult people, at least that I remember, but it was always excuse me, if you don't know how to shut the fuck up, I'm going to put you in the audience, okay? I'm sick of this shit. And it's it was that kind of mean, which is
shut up in many
So, Pepe, my tagline is Big Back Athleisure. Drop the weight and own the brand.
Do you have shower caps?
Don't in the black community.
I'm discussing a bonnet line. Yeah.
But don't they fat women generally? They would call women long backed. I mean.
Okay, that's enough retardation for one day.
Identity behind being fit. So this is actually meant to direct compete with Lululemon.
What about a smoke detector shaped like a shower cap?
I watched the whole thing. I've been watched the whole thing.
The temple prostitutes and things like that. He says he's not gonna punish their daughters when they commit when they cheat on them and they commit whoredom and stuff like that. He's not gonna consider they did anything. He's not gonna punish them.
What the fuck is that?
So it is true that over history, the Democrats have benefited more, right, and gerrymandered more, right? But that including a historical time that includes.
I don't see how that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The PR seems pretty bad on that one. I don't really see women liking it, but.
Well, and men as well. So there's actually a larger representation of men that actually, especially the novelty items, The branded T-shirts and whatnot. We're not just talking about the athletic attire, the tumblers, and the yoga mats and whatnot. Like there's a product representation for the men as well.
Our country's getting fat. My niece, a couple of weeks ago, Adam, she went to the store. I think it was at a beach or somewhere, and she was like, "I couldn't find anything my size." So she's very slim. They're all bigger than me. This is crazy, man. We gotta lose some weight.
Was this in the South?
Yeah. This is like in Florida, Panama, in the South. Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like there's like parts of the country that are where people are on. Yeah, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like in the South and maybe the Midwest, it's more common to see like larger people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you're closer to the beach, there's slimmer people. I noticed, but the further you go away from the beach, the bigger the shit gets. Because people don't fucking care. They're like, well, that's what I noticed.
A shocking statistic to me is that the average black woman weighs more than the average black man.
Yeah,
and 20 pounds more than the average white woman.
You're right about that.
Can you believe that?
Can you post that data, please?
I'm just shocked how fat people are.
To be fair though, aren't like black people overly concentrated in what the fuck is this? Like, aren't they overly concentrated?
It's like 40 something, because again, you have to include twice married, 3-time marrieds. That's what brings the rate up. If you're looking at just first time marriages, it's way lower. Because I'm saying, like, a lot of the shit you're talking about is just with everybody included. You just talk about this, like what you gave, like what marriage is, like that isn't true. You're saying isn't.
Let me check real quick. So newer marriages, you're saying that the rate of divorce is more than 50.
It's lower. It's lower
than 51%.
When you look up divorce stats, it only goes over 50 when you're talking about second and third marriage. It's never first marriage.
But why y'all only focus on the percentage that's divorced when we talk about marriage? We only focus on the divorce rate, but when we start talking about
vegetables, your diet is very important. Maintaining a good body mass index within normal range is very important. You got to take your weight and your height. Do your BMI calculator online. You only should be doing that. Normal BMI is 25 and below. But we got a lot of Americans in the overly obese, 30 plus, because of the diet. We got a carb-based diet. Carb-based diet.
We gotta change it. I think Get on the right approach to it. People are things that happen. Die shit out of our foods. That shit make a lot of sense. We just need to sadly, there's going to be another right? We need to start to elect other politicians that's going to take it to another level, because it doesn't matter who you are, black, white, no matter.
We're here in New York City with the legend, Sweetie Rockman.
Shit that could have been avoided, whether it's your mom, brother, sister, whatever. That shit is devastating.
Shalom, everyone. For those who are tuning in now.
Right, but quality food. Here's the catch. It's the catch-22. The quality food costs more money in the Midwest and the South.
My name is Michael Corio. Se llama Miguel Corleone. People pay a lot of money for that information.
The low-cost food is harmful.
My name is Michael Corio. Se llama Miguel Corleone.
It's a lot of fresh fruit in these farms. Everywhere. I mean, you can pretty much throw it for anything. That shit's gonna grow. But when you go to the stores, it's very.
Car accident.
I don't know how to
No, it's not you. Monsanto's out
We
there.
will get you a million views
They're
where you don't
doing
pay.
their thing. That's fine. But it costs money. It does cost more. Organic food costs more. But when you go to other countries, with lower cost of living, you get healthy food for better value. But if you're going to be in the U.S., you gotta be selective with your food. You really have to put effort into finding quality food now. Else, you gotta put effort.
I'm sad. He's one of my friends. I mean, he is a good Christian friend. He's always having to
do here on TV. This is why they call us goyim. I used to think low
I know, I've known him for years.
This is why they call us goyim. I used to think low
Yes,
IQ
my friend.
anti-Semitism is just something that they
But
said.
I was defending Jesus, and all I said was that, like, they were trying to allocate like properties of Muhammad, Jesus, and trying to justify that.
Dan is brain dead, low
different.
IQ.
And all I said, all I said was, well, Jews would never marry a 9-year-old.
This is why
All I said was Jews would never marry a 9-year-old, and then I got removed from the state.
On this civilization. What I'd like to do is help solve some important problems in a small way. Help build the internet, and then with respect to the global warming problem, the transition from away from oil and other hydrocarbons to something which is clean and sustainable. I hope to have an impact there. And then with respect to space, I hope to have an impact in helping make humanity an awful bad species.
It's President Trump House, always.
Got it.
Where is Matt?
He's on a date with my sister.
Pepe, come on, man.
What is your hope?
Gross. Conspiracy is really great. I don't know that if it's true, that's wonderful. Happy for Matt. But she shouldn't say things like that. It's not true.
That's a ghetto white back bitch. What do they call him? Pepe Tortas?
That's what,
Yep.
what's his face?
Couldn't come up with one fast enough. I see you, Pepe.
I don't have any sisters.
You have sister in Christ. Is that big?
An aspiring entrepreneur decided to.
I'm here at my parents' house.
Man in the Dropbox went out to say, "Golly, take heed to attention." When
Sounds like a very homosexual dog, Pepe.
Sounds like Pepe's becoming a family man. And I
Is your
think
father the head of the household, Pepe? What's going on? That dog sounds a little light in his bark.
it's a Chihuahua.
Her bark. Her bark.
Oh my
bad. My bad. Where's Beema?
Put it off. Pepe says on a date with his sister, I'm gonna punch him.
Pepe's on a date with his sister?
Yep.
Oh, crap.
I thought he was gonna say Vivo, but that's even more weird.
You're a good boy, huh? You go with her dog. There's an old dog, and he has so my stepmom's cousin passed away a couple years ago, and she inherited their dogs. One of them passed away. So they're old dogs, but this one's pretty fragile, and he has really bad separation anxiety. So you have to go out, and I said I'd watch it this afternoon.
So you
frigid ass dog.
He's already frigid.
But you got a frigid ass dog?
Fragile.
No, I said frigid.
He said fragile.
She's the just divorced wife whose ex-husband won $273 million in the lottery. Mike Mirsky never had a steady job in their 15-year marriage. And when they divorced 5 months ago, she was ordered to pay him alimony. Now at age 53, this regular Joe is mega rich. She doesn't want a penny of his winnings.
Your ex-husband won over $270 million. You were the breadwinner when you were married. You think you're entitled to any of that?
The only thing that I would like to see is obviously termination of spousal support.
Eileen says the lottery jackpot doesn't change the way she feels about Mike. The marriage did not end on a happy note.
Now that you have money, it doesn't mean that I would want to come back.
Mike reacted this way.
$270 million
Well, I mean,
does
if
not
I
make
could
me
go
a
and
feeling
hitchhike and
That's what she said in the New
you
York
know,
Post.
a group of people with like,
I don't
fresh
care.
meat, and then, you know, they would take turns raping me.
I don't care.
Fortunately,
Check
that's
this
not how
out.
the world works.
Oh,
She's the just divorced
shit.
wife whose ex-husband won $270.
I don't put on a show anymore. I don't. Yeah, but you. If you
This
have
is Pepe and his golden years. I'm gonna call this the golden.
if you have to spend day in day out and like you're like putting on a fucking show, it's like yeah, you're always like in. I don't know how to put it. It is kind of a perishable skill. And
She's
you learn to
Jennifer.
She's
Lopez.
the just divorced wife whose ex-husband won two.
I don't care about that. Fuck that old bitch.
She has the energy to, you know, controlling her audience.
What audience?
Exactly. That's what
She was talentless. She was nothing. She was just a good-looking person when she was younger. She was a mediocre singer and a shitty actress.
the masses come onto this app for entertainment, not giving the people what.
Or your religion was lying to you all this time, and you have a set of empty commandments that don't actually allow you to serve God in any way.
You have to admit that Jesus literally changed the world. He's right. Either Jesus is the Messiah, or Judaism is just a lie. It's just completely a lie. It's false.
What the Radak says on Yirmiyahu 31:31. Behold, days are coming, ... new covenant. Its newness is that it will be kept and not broken, like the covenant that Bnei Israel cut with God at Mount Sinai.
Yeah, correct.
Regarding this, and it says, for the prophet Yirmiyahu prophesies about a new Torah, which will in the future come to be. This isn't like a new Torah which was given at Mount Sinai, since it says, not according to the covenant